With treasure maps in hand, we took a stand. Through dark winding caves and hidden clues, searching for answers to ancient riddles we pursued. Mysteries unfolded every twist and turn. As we learned secrets, our hearts began to yearn. Drama unfolded, friendships were tested, but together we faced it all, never rested. Oh, this wild journey we're on, we won't stop. We'll keep pushing through, reaching the top. With each challenge we face, we'll prevail. Kpro and Cowlazars, the heroes of this tale.
All right, hey everybody, let me cut that off. Here we are, Monday night, June 3rd. Guess what today is, Kpro?
Today is Monday, June 3rd.
That's right. It's true. But today is 3 days away from the 4-year anniversary when Forrest announced it was found. June 6, 2020, correct?
Yes, and some have said that will be some big day because the statute of limitations or blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Oh, 4 years? Did 4 years mean something?
Yeah, that I don't know. I statute of limitations in Wyoming or New Mexico or whatever. So whatever. Yeah. And so almost 5 years since Jack initially found the treasure chest, if you believe that, or maybe you don't. And do you know that clip that you have that it's Dr. Phil and he says, "I think I just bought a ticket to a train wreck."
Mm-hmm.
I think you should have that one handy tonight.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that a little bit. Well, the big hubbub, whatever you want to call it.
I have a list.
You are admitting you're wrong about 9 Mile Hole. That's how people the title, which is not what the title says, people. It says Kpro admits she was wrong, ! What if the location was 9 Mile Hole? So you go ahead and tell them what you want to tell them about that.
Okay, so there are 4 topics for tonight. One of them, I am going to admit that I was wrong, and we're going to talk to, and we have some Shiloh words that we're going to share. And then I do want to talk about JCB. There's been a couple things that I guess I have completely stopped watching tubers. So, but people have asked me about if, who created the train wreck, this whole thing. Or Jack said, Forrest gave us a shit show. Okay. Talk about WSOP. I will tell you right now, I am in a horrible mood. I did so great last year. I'm just going to tell you one hand. My last hand. Did that freeze up for you?
Yeah.
I went completely black. Okay.
Yeah, you're back.
I had Ace 8 suited. I went all in with about 15K left. And she had 5-8 of spades. And she got a 5. And so, yeah, I'm just going to say I have lost probably more in the last 24 hours. So there's upswings and downswings. I'm on downswings. I'm a little pissy, and I had some stuff happen with kids. There's lots of stuff happening. Not in a good mood, but I will tell you when we start talking about, is it not 9 Mile Hole? I have this. So I'm going to save that. So a couple of things, and Huli, if you're in here, you're the queen at this, but Mike, you can be the king. There is the 48 hours that went up on YouTube. So you are now not going to have to be a part of whatever stream service. Within a day, there was 100,000 views. I think we're 3 days out and it's 300,000 or 400,000 views. Any thought that Netflix is not going to get millions of views is going to be insane. But go up, check it out. It is the one. It's interesting if you go into the comments, because the comments really go into how Forrest shouldn't be to blame. It was basically a kind of hit piece on all the different families that had lost searchers, and most of the comments are favorable to Forrest. So I just thought that was interesting. So 48 hours is up there. So we're going to go in this order. We'll talk about the JCB hunt. We're going to talk about the Shiloh words. We're going to talk about then, let's see, what if the location was at 9 Mile Hole? And that's going to be probably a pretty significant discussion, and one that is going to be a train wreck. I call it up front, but There's.
Oh, we're going to talk about it. We'll actually
Yeah.
have a serious discussion to it.
Yeah, and Huli posted the link. Thank you very much.
Maybe for the first time. We'll see.
Okay. So the second is JCB. There was an update. If you want to hit the breaking news button, this isn't really breaking news, but it's something. If you go up to the link that JCB has an unlisted video link of the treasure chest items. He only has, I think, very few subscribers, but it's been viewed a bunch of times. He has added in the description section that footage was filmed by Jens Ezer. If you guys know Enzer or whatever. Jens, we know him. We call him the German devil. But okay, I'm going to ask it because we're going to bring it tonight. Mike, that he has been, so we know that the treasures have already been put in their place because when JCB was, I don't know, secretly talking to either Copper Dan or Jens or somebody, he said, about the olive jar. It's in one of the boxes I have hidden. So it sounds like they're already hidden. Right. So if we know that this is footage from Jens, and we know that the website does have wording about the book is structured by the items and you need to know their stories, and hopefully that'll take you to the treasure caches. Does that mean Jens has secret insider information?
I don't think so. First, I got to say that's a pretty awesome video, Jens. You did a pretty good job on that. JCB, you got to give him some props. So right down here, everybody, it says footage shot by Jens Enzer. That was not there before.
Yep.
And again, this was put up on April 2nd, and it only has 424 views. So for those of you that are going to work on JCB's hunt, unless he does some press work, I think we get a good shot. But if something tells me he'll be doing some press work before it starts. But as far as Jens going there and filming that and seeing all the treasure, without JCB's book, I don't think it helps. Now, if Jens somehow got a hold of JCB's book or filmed his book or etc., maybe he's got a little head start on some people. Pretty damn
so
sweet.
Maybe a head start, but I do have to say, you know what this confirms more than anything? Jens can complete a project.
Yeah, that was a good video. I mean, I got to give props to Jens.
It was a great video. His camera work is phenomenal. So, okay, so that is the JCB update. We did the 48 hours update. Let's dive into the Shiloh update. Okay, so we did a show last week, I think, saying that there was a video of 9 clues.
Well, we've done that for a year now, but yes.
Right, but that prompted Shiloh's spokesperson, Ben, to message Shiloh and say, because of Kpro's and Cowlazar, don't forget Cowlazar's video, can you confirm if there is a video, basically going over the 9 clues? And here is his response, and it is pretty interesting because I want to pick it apart, I want to comment to each section of it. So, yeah, go ahead. When did Jens meet Jason? Okay, I'm not, Sammy, I'm not doing it tonight because I want to be really ornery tonight. Just join. We're not there yet. Vista Homes. Yeah, we're going first to Shiloh confirming that there is a video. So basically we did a video saying there's a 9 clues video. A lot of you do not believe there's a 9 clues video, or some of you. 7% of you do not believe that there is a 9 clues video. So Ben went to Shiloh and said, can you confirm if there's a 9 clues video? Kpro went on and said there is one. Can you talk to it? And Zapster, wow, that's a name of the past.
A blast from the past. He heard 9 Mile Hole and they appear. You say it 3 times. 9 Mile Hole, 9 Mile Hole, 9 Mile Hole.
Yeah, we're getting there. We need to do the Shiloh update because Shiloh has spoken, and let's walk through what it says, and then I will put in my 2 cents to it, and then I have some things to talk about, and then we're going to get into what if the location wasn't 9 Mile Hole and the reasons behind that. But that's when I'm going to, in case you weren't here earlier, I'm going to pop that. Okay, go ahead, Mike.
Well, no, I'll just say it. I'll read it. So this is the text that Ben shared. Have to ask because of the Kpro stream. Did you confirm there's a 9 clue solution video ever? And in that video, we were saying that Shiloh confirmed it from his text message from like 6 months ago.
Yeah, he used the word video. He didn't use the word video. He just said solution. He didn't say solution video. So some that are in the land of denial still believe there is no video.
Well, and yes, it's true that in Shiloh's text message from back then, he just said solution. what Ben didn't show was his first initial text, which he was asking about the video.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is what the new text message is. Here we go. Bam. Did you confirm there's a 9-clue solution video ever? And Shiloh says, I have never denied that there was some sort of private audio or visual where my grandfather talks about the clues in the poem. That content was once a part of Netflix negotiations.
Wait, but he's not in Netflix. I'm sorry, keep going. I'll get on
that content was once a part of Netflix negotiations, which is something else we've talked about. For various reasons, we decided not to allow Netflix access to it. Although it is true that Netflix didn't see the monetary value of the content, that is only one reason why it wasn't included in Netflix. So as we said, the family wanted more money and Netflix would not pay it.
Don't ad-lib, just talk it all.
What's that?
Don't ad-lib.
And Shiloh is saying there's more than one reason, which is fine. I'm sure there was more than one reason.
Yeah.
Nobody in the chase knows what value we were discussing with Netflix. If they claim that they know a specific dollar amount, or frankly, even a range, then either they are lying or somebody at Netflix breached contract, which I doubt is the case. Also, I don't recall ever suggesting that Kpro or any other member of the chase community should purchase the content. All right. What do you want to talk? Let's talk about the bottom part first. Shiloh, didn't Shiloh reach out to you directly, Kpro?
No, of course not. And that he said that he's denying something that no one ever said. So he's denying something that, Shiloh has not been in any discussions that I'm aware. I don't know if he was directly involved with the Netflix discussions or if that was Zoe or Carl or whoever. But no, I am aware. I agree. Shiloh is 100% right on. That he didn't ask for fundraising. He didn't ask for any of that. So I agree with that. I don't even know, that came out of left field. So I have some feelings that there's some stuff between that. Because why would he even think that? Because no one ever said that.
Because you had said you talked to Carl about doing a fundraiser. So I am assuming because nobody knows about this video that Shiloh must have come to you with it. In other words, hang on. Then that means obviously somebody does know about the video. A searcher does know about the video, which is why we've been talking about it for the last year, everybody. So, and they also, that person, whoever that person may be, knew that it was not sold to Netflix. There was some kind of a contract dispute. Netflix did not see the monetary value of the content directly from Shiloh.
You're going to other sections. Tigger said, didn't Carl retire? No, that was the other attorney. The other attorney retired. Carl is still quite close. I mean, there was an engagement party that Shiloh had and Carl was there this weekend. So it's not like they're not a stranger or anything, guys. He's still the lawyer. Okay. Anyway, let's focus here.
Focus on the text.
So he doesn't believe that anyone has been in negotiations. I'm going to go back and I'm going to say Shiloh is being honest here. Because Shiloh doesn't know everything that's going on. And I'm going to take you back to a really good example. I have several, but I think one will make the point. Okay. Shannon, myself, and Cynthia went to Shiloh's or Forrest's house that Shiloh lives in. And he was so gracious. He brought us in. We had these Japanese beers. We drank. We had a good time. And when we went out back, that was the whole thing about not using the word family intervention. And we had that whole back and forth. Mm-hmm. And I brought this up a year ago or when it happened, and I've brought it up a couple times since then. He turned to me and he said, and you keep saying that the treasure chest is for sale and it's at Heritage. And he kind of stopped for a second. He goes, don't you know who I am? It's not for sale and it's not at Heritage. I would know it if it is. And I looked over at Cynthia like, I can't argue with him, but I know it is.
At that time, Justin owned the chest, correct?
Yeah, the influencer event was announced shortly thereafter. And I didn't know how to say to him, like, I do know who you are and you're just not. And he wasn't invited to the influencer event. Justin never has talked with Shiloh. So it's not that I don't believe that Shiloh thinks what he's saying, but sometimes you can't be as confident when you again and again are proven, kind of like GPS. I believe anything is possible, and we're going to go over some things tonight. I believe anything is possible. But for Shiloh to say no one has ever been in any negotiations, period, using the example, there's no way it's for sale and there's no way it's at Heritage, and being kind of very confident about it and being blatantly wrong, I think future times you would want to maybe preface it with there are other possibilities than Netflix breaching. Now, I did reach out to Netflix with this text, I was not able to get a comment in time for the show that they could, that we could share. So I do just want to put you there with that. There is more possibilities than Netflix just breaching the contract about the 9-clue video. So, but
Netflix didn't breach a contract. They never agreed. It sounds like they never agreed on a contract. But anyway, that's
no. He's saying the only way that the negotiation details could come out is Netflix breaching the contract.
Yeah, you're right.
I wouldn't say that those are the only possibilities.
Somebody at Netflix breached the contract. Yeah, that's not the only possibility. Obviously, we knew about this video. Was it a year ago we were talking about this 9-clue video? Shiloh has said, I never denied it. It's the same as saying yes, in my opinion. He's saying he's saying I never talked to Kpro or anybody in the chase community about buying it or raising money for it. And that's true, correct?
Yeah. Yeah. So let's see. To me, this video has confirmed a few things, or this video. This has confirmed a few things. One, the video exists, guys, because he just said it exists. And he said he was negotiating with Netflix, like we said. And we said a video exists, like we said. And it didn't work out. And it was negotiated. And they couldn't, how did he put it? Netflix did not see the monetary value. They weren't able to. The family wanted more money than Netflix was able to.
Right. I mean, exactly. And that's, you know what? Hey, it is what it is. It sucks that I think the community deserves to see that video, but maybe Shiloh's going to do it in a different way, or the family is going to do it in a different way. Let's hope.
Well, wait, but my point just is those of you saying there is not a video unless the family confirms it. Boom. It's just been confirmed. Those of you that say Shiloh is not in Netflix and that video was never shopped at Netflix. Boom, it was just confirmed that it was negotiated, and unfortunately Netflix didn't see the monetary value, so it will not be in Netflix.
It was part of a Netflix negotiation, which means the family negotiated with Netflix, obviously. Right. Okay. And that's true. I mean, when you go back there, anyway, I didn't really want to go backwards with this text message, but
okay, I'm just saying in general. Well, this is where Why Must Go says, even if the video exists, nobody has seen it and nothing said about it. Okay, Why Must Go, you were just saying one doesn't exist. It's like the minute that we confirm something that people have been screaming and yelling about for so long, and some of the tubers. Okay, so everyone needs to soak in it. A video exists. This confirms it, guys. The family has confirmed. A video exists of Forrest going over the 9 clues. 2, it was shot with Netflix. They didn't pay. They weren't willing to pay enough, and there could have been some other things, but they couldn't pay enough. And it's not in Netflix. Those are the things that we thank you, Ben. Thank you, Shiloh. You have just confirmed with 9 exclamation marks that there is a video. Forrest went over the 9 clues. It was shot at Netflix, and they didn't see the monetary value, so it's not going to be in it. Poor things.
And my point is, if we knew about this video a year ago, how? Well, obviously it's because somebody has seen the video. Put 2 and 2 together, people. And again, we're not going to get into that video. What's that?
Yeah.
We're not going to get into that video. I just wanted to point it out that Shiloh says he didn't recall talking to Kpro or anybody in the chase community. Well, if Shiloh and the family didn't talk about it, you know what I'm saying? Obviously it's out there. But anyway.
Traveler Joe is asking, when was the video shot? Jack notified Forrest on the 5th. The 6th is a Saturday. He announced it to the search community.
2020.
And it was on that Wednesday that he shot the video. It's 23 minutes long, if you care to know that detail.
Right. But we'll get into that. When we talk about 9 Mile Hole, we're going to get into that video a little bit.
Okay. Right. So here is something important for me to say, because I do think it is important that when you're wrong, you need to say you're wrong. And so I'm hoping this helps others emulate there, because I was wrong. And here's what I'm completely wrong about. Shiloh up to this point, Shiloh up to this point has not been speaking for himself. He's been speaking through Candy, Ben, sometimes Cynthia, but really Candy and Ben. I have thought up to this point, the reason for that I did not believe was court. I believed was because he was under a gag order with Netflix. I was wrong. And here's why I say that.
Hang on. Kpro said she was wrong, everybody. Go ahead, say it again.
So I was wrong, and here's why. So Shiloh sends a lot of steak pictures. He doesn't talk about the chase. He only talks about, selling stuff and that sort of thing. He has not put anything significant out since he signed with Netflix until that text that came like 48 hours ago. I don't know when. Somebody sent it to me. So here's what I'm wrong about. I have thought up to this point it was Netflix gag ordered him. Well, that means that he couldn't talk about the 9 Clue video. He couldn't talk about Netflix not seeing that. He basically bashed Netflix. If he's under a gag order, he can't. Netflix did not see the monetary value. He wouldn't be able to say that.
So it's not an NDA that he signed, in other words. That's what you're saying by gagged?
Yes. Yes.
Right. He may have signed an NDA for whatever his interview is, but he can talk about, obviously, he's talking about Netflix, so he can. He's not gag ordered.
Okay. So I was completely wrong about that. So here's my question. If it is not Netflix, and we know probate's going to stay open for a while, what is the reason that you think, even Ben says, I am the spokesperson, or maybe he doesn't call himself that, I am the person that's communicating and giving information, and this is not ideal. Nobody wants this. And I mean, Ben's taking on a hard role to do it. Nobody wants this. It's not ideal. It's kind of a train wreck. Why do you believe, if it's not Netflix, why do you believe Shiloh is not willing or able, I'm not sure which one, to speak for himself?
You mean, why won't he come out publicly? Why does he just message people? Is that what you're asking?
Right.
I don't know. I don't think he's, well, the question is he prevented in some way from coming out himself and talking? And I just don't have enough information to know. He's not coming out himself and talking. I mean, he could make his own YouTube channel. He could go to the One Cattle website, whatever that website was Forrest used to use. He could do a lot of things. You know what I mean? He could make an Instagram account. He could, but he's not doing it himself. He's just talking to the community through other people. So it seems to me like he's being prevented from talking to people, and I don't know why. Why do you think it is?
Well, it could be, I've thought of a couple different things. He has said that this is the chase is low priority in his life. He's gotten engaged. He's a business person. He's doing a lot of work on eBay. He's writing a book. He's doing a lot of things. So maybe he doesn't want to talk directly, because once you open that gate and then you do answer people, but I know he is talking with at least 5 or 6 searchers that I know about. So that one doesn't fit. So is he prevented in some way? And the only thing I can think of is he needs to get permission of the estate, and the estate hasn't given him the okay yet. That's the only thing I can think of.
He needs to get, well, the estate means his mother, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So permission to give his opinion, or permission to give like the actual solve or talk about the video or anything like that?
Probably all of it, because the video belongs to the estate. Zoe manages the estate. So, but now that he's confirmed that, maybe he got his mom's permission to tell Ben. I don't know. I can't figure it out either. There has to be some, you know, when something doesn't make sense and then you hear the backstory later, you go, oh, that's why. I think something will make sense later, but he's right now, maybe after June 6th, the statute of limitations.
Well,
I don't know.
Must I Go actually made a point. He says the solvent location is up to the solver, not Shiloh. What if Shiloh is actually honoring Forrest Fenn's wishes, that it's up to the finder, and Shiloh can't say anything until Jack does, and he's waiting for Jack to come out and tell his story, and then Shiloh can then therefore say what he wants to say.
Well, but he has said, though, epic fun is coming. Does he mean with Jack? Well, or
does he mean after Jack tells the story? Like, we're going to wait forever. We're going to wait until Jack basically says the solution. Then Shiloh can say what he wants. Then
wouldn't you think Shiloh wouldn't stand there and go, there's no way that Jack's selling the chest and it's at Heritage. Don't you know who I am? If Jack and Forrest, or Jack and Shiloh were buddies and they were kind of coordinating something, don't you think Shiloh wouldn't have looked as silly as he did about that comment?
The only thing I'll say, and maybe in Shiloh's defense, is maybe there was a date agreed upon by Forrest and Jack that on this day, and maybe it had to do with Yellowstone, with the Zoom with Yellowstone. On this day, maybe that's Thursday, maybe that's 4 years. Okay. On this day in the future, then you can say what you want to say. And Shiloh is waiting for Jack to do that. Maybe not in conjunction, maybe not as a partner, but he's just waiting for Jack to do it. And then Shiloh can then come forth with with the fun and answers that he has.
But that does have to be coordinated with Justin. And I confirmed that with Carl. So
as far as the gag order or whatever the hell that is.
Yeah. Oh,
I got you. Man,
okay, I've been ignoring chat.
It's a mess, everybody.
It's a mess because okay, hold on. Let's see. I want to hear Forrest on this video. Yeah, we all do. Even though the exact location of where it's found, do we even know? Danielle, some would say 9 Mile Hole, but some people wouldn't. And Mike's going to go over that in a minute. And I'm Gonna drink heavily. Shiloh never confirmed or denied it existed, so it is a lie that someone has also said they've seen it. Why I must go. What I'm saying is there is other possibilities.
Right.
Perhaps. Well, we know Carl has seen it. Carl took the video, and he said that in Cynthia's video. He took it. So we know some people have seen this video.
We're going to get into 9 Mile Hole, everybody. It wasn't clickbait, as everybody thought. Just hang on. It's certain things we're going to get done first. Okay.
Yes, because once we talk about that, all hell is going to break loose. It's going to be a train wreck, and we won't be able to talk about anything else. So hold on. Let me just get through the rest of chat, and then we can go into why it's not 9 Mile Hole. They can cover up the truth, which I hold on to. Thank you, Brent John. But no. My first live chat for some time. Been waiting for the comment of following Dan Cooper. Okay, we're not talking Cooper, but I love that topic. I won't use the word lie because I don't want to come across as a poo-poo head, but I will say I'm 50-50 on it until more comes out, but you could be right. Okay, they're talking, so I thought it was directed to me. Okay. Let me hold on. It's the chat is on. Okay, here's a Kpro. I am 10 minutes behind in the video, so my comments are back 10 minutes. Either way, the claim that this video is proved 9 Mile Hole is clearly a lie. Okay.
How does that? What? Wait, go back to that. What?
It says Kpro, I am 10 minutes behind. This is why I must go.
Yeah, but
the video, so my comments are back 10 minutes. Either way, the claim that this video proved 9 Mile Hole is clearly a lie.
How? So, Troy, if you haven't seen the video, how can you say that with a straight face, unless you're just being a troll?
And Shiloh didn't say it's not 9 Mile Hole. Shiloh did not. If Shiloh comes out and says there is a video and it's not 9 Mile Hole, I'd agree with you. Shiloh confirming there's a video. How does that prove that 9 Mile Hole is a lie?
Shiloh won't confirm or deny 9 Mile Hole, and then maybe that's part of the reason on why he can't talk for himself yet. We don't know. But Troy, if there's a video of Forrest going over the solution, it doesn't prove anything other than there's a video of Forrest going over the solution. Anyway, I don't think there's any arguing with Troy.
No, there's no arguing with Troy, and I agree with him here, so I have to say it. This is why I must go said Shiloh should stop using mouthpieces. This is why I must go saying I'm going to say that because I know somebody sends Shiloh every time I say something, whether I'm quoting someone or not. They're kind of silly. So Shiloh should stop using mouthpieces. Why I must go says, like Ben, why I must go says, and Candy, like why I must go says. He should man up, like why I must go says, and speak for himself to all of us. Why I must go said that, and I agree. But
Shiloh's got his reasons for doing what he's doing. I really don't have an issue with Shiloh. He's doing what he's doing for his own reasons. That's fine.
Okay.
But yeah.
Hold on, I'm not through. I'm not.
But I do appreciate that he says I never denied that there was this audio. He didn't say video. He said audio or video. Well, we know it's a video, just like we knew there was one to begin with, people. Just like we know how long it is, just like we know the backstory behind it. But anyway.
Nomadic says, you said that probate was going to stay open for a while. Why do you have that suspicion? Because when I was talking with Carl, when Shiloh directed him to us about suing anyone that opened the jar, I think it was about the cease and desist he put against Dale. I asked why probate hadn't closed, and he said, until everything's like solidified and done, like the house is still for sale for a lot of money, and so they haven't gotten
$5 million, something
right.
Like
and I think it's valued at like 1.9. So until it sells, you don't want to close an estate and then have to do a lot of stuff that probate would need. So because it was said, are we going to see Rudy stick again? I don't know. People, please keep it kind. Hooley says, I agree. One would think Shiloh would offer more if he's going to release a book. Yeah, maybe they think, and some people have guessed that he's waiting for Netflix and waiting for his book to come out because then people will pay more for it, and they want to recoup those. Yeah. What is the wedding? I don't know. Any chance for a quick recap, T Brown? No. Chat is being hella trashy. Yeah, guys, cut it out. I'm missing a lot. I'm sorry. Kpro, can you redictate what you heard from Forrest described in the video?
Can you?
I'll just say, in case anybody's watching and seen it, it was glowing.
What was?
You know what? No, it's better. It's better said elsewhere. So
yeah,
no,
because I haven't seen it, and I can say me and you have not seen it, correct? I mean,
correct.
Or have you?
I
Maybe
have not. No, I would have told you. I have not seen it.
Right. We have not seen this video, guys. But we do trust the person who says they've seen it, because why would they lie? So anyway, Mike N says, why make a video if it's never meant to be released? And that's a good question. So
now this was how it was explained to me. Forrest is 90 years old. He knew to a function of time he was going to be passing away. He didn't want to do the video. But his attorneys said, after you die, and we might need it for court, we need something in your voice and your words on you on video, stating the date, and going over the 9 clues in case we need it for court. Forrest never intended his family to sell it for monetary gain, ever, from my understanding. It was only to be used for court. But after you die, I'm not even going to say they're wrong to try to sell some of the assets and all of that. But some people are judging that. I am not. If they sell it and they get the price they want and it comes out, it would be great. But Forrest never intended it to be sold. It was only going to be there to protect his family. He did it for his family. The family wants the monetary, but they did say they're going to do right by the community. And one of these years they might.
Has anyone gone to Carl for confirmation of said video? We do know that Carl said, I took the video, right?
Yes.
But some people have said, does that mean the conference room? Does that mean he recorded Jack and Forrest in the conference room? Which video is he talking about? We now know that there's 2 videos. There's 2 videos, but which one? We don't know. I don't know if we know which one he was talking about in that discussion, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So obviously,
okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, obviously, Kpro is going through all the chat and trying to avoid the 9 Mile Hole discussion.
Wait, I have one more thing to say. Somebody else sent me a question, because I guess one of the tubers, I won't mention his name, said that we, Cynthia and I and a few others, were completely supportive of McCracken and not the family, because we sat on the opposite side of the court room. And I want to just clarify this, because it will help. One, I hate correcting people so often because they're so wrong all the time. But here's what happened. When Carl came in to the court, we were there early. Cynthia and I. She greeted the family, gave them a hug, all that. And then Carl said, we have a lot of family and friends coming to support the family today. Can you make sure to leave space over on, it's a very small courtroom. I would say 15 people on each side. There was 3 benches on each side, 3 behind McCracken, or maybe 4, I don't know, and 3 behind Carl and Zoe, who were sitting at the main pews, or whatever you call them. And the family filled everything up about except for about 1 or family and friends, 1 or 2 on that side, and the searchers took the other side out of respect and request of the estate. Now, here's what was interesting. About, I don't know, however long in, Gallatin Ghost came in, and there was 1 seat over on our side, the searcher side, and 1 seat over on the family side. And she went and sat on the family side. And then she started looking around. She's so sweet. She started looking around. And then on break, she came over and sat next to Jens and said, why are you guys sitting over here? Like,
oh, Jens was there too?
Yeah, Jens was there. There were a couple of reporters. No, yeah, it was Jens. It was Jens. And we explained, we're over here just because the family's over there. And she's like, oh, I feel so bad. I was like, no, we all, I mean, if it was down to us and there was room, we would have all been on the side of the families. But we did it by request. And I'm glad I could clarify that ridiculousness.
So you support McCracken in his lawsuit. I got it.
If you listen to some stupid tubers, that's what they say. And they actually said it like we were supporting McCracken, which you're on crack if you never mind.
I don't think anybody supported McCracken except for McCracken.
But they were actually talking about, I guess. I just get I don't know. Okay.
I wonder what happened to that guy. Anyway, did we get to 9 Mile Hole now?
Okay, now let me do the transition.
Okay.
Since Shiloh has picked 2 main people in the search community, and recently Candy on our last show said, I'm so over the 9 Mile Hole story, like that crap. And Ben has said no to 9 Mile Hole, and I had a couple quotes recently that he doesn't believe 9 Mile Hole. Shiloh has picked 2 spokespeople, and neither of them believe in 9 Mile Hole. That's going to open the door for this train wreck of a discussion that is coming. Why not 9 Mile Hole could be the case. Shiloh's picked his spokespeople and they don't believe in 9 Mile Hole. Okay, Mike, over to you for this.
So we're going to go over the conspiracy theory bridge. We've talked a lot about conspiracy theory bridges before, but we're actually going to create our own, or I'm going to create one right now. And the reason is there is a percentage of the community who do not believe, 7%, that do not believe the 9 Mile Hole is the location. It's just like Jeremy right here says, if anyone still believes that the poem relates to anywhere in the 9 Mile Hole region, you will choke on Jake's hat before you can come up with a clue in the poem and a place on the map. So let me just first say this. For any of you that think it's not 9 Mile Hole because you think your solution is correct, you would just turn this off right now, because you don't listen, in my opinion, you don't listen to reason. You don't listen to facts. If we have any, that's what I want to talk about, is what facts do we have, if any. But if you're so tied up in your own solution and your own location that you won't listen to anything else, then there's no point in you listening.
No, but I think, just to be fair of expectations, you are going to question what some people call evidence and make question to 9 Mile Hole. Now, you're not going to say it's not 9 Mile Hole, it is X, because I searched there, it's my search. But 9 Mile Hole, some people say there's mounds of evidence to. Mike wants to explore this exercise because there may be doubts that, I don't know, maybe he was paid off to do this. I don't know.
Oh, me? Yeah, okay. A treasure chest was found, but it was not the Romanesque chest Forrest spoke of. I know that for certain.
Yes,
well, that's another part of it. Yeah. Anyway, all right, let's just get into it. Let's just go across 7 Mile Bridge. I mean, conspiracy theory bridge. And let's just get to it.
Everybody crack their beer.
So the first question is, and this is going to take like 4 hours. So you guys make some popcorn, just sit back and relax. We don't have to be anywhere, right, Kpro? We're not doing anything. So let's actually delve into this, because we've had shows on why it is 9 Mile Hole. You went to the court case. You've talked to people. Some people have seen a video. We've talked about why it is 9 Mile Hole. But have we ever talked about how it could not be 9 Mile Hole? Have we ever flipped it and done that, Kpro, that you can think of?
No.
You think it's a stupid idea. I know that.
I think this is a train wreck. I think this is going to be a disaster. I am going to keep it together as long as I can. But after GPS, I was so sure of. And now I believe that I will hold evidence at a much higher level. I don't believe you're going to sway me. But you said, because you're in control, you're the man, you have said you want to do this, and I'm up for it, but I think it's going to be a disaster, and you're going to be head of the Crazy Club. So welcome to the Crazy Club, and now you're going to be their new king. I'm going to get you a little tiara, a little crown.
Zapster says there are plenty of very good reasons to dismiss 9 Mile Hole without favoring a different location. Well, we're going to talk about that.
There you go. You're driving this train. Go ahead.
Leland says it's 9 Mile Hole. Why is this even being debated still? Is it just because there needs to be a new topic or a reason to discuss this? Did people read the book that think it's not 9 Mile Hole? Yeah, actually, the answer is yes. But okay, let's get into it. So, in just 3 short days, 4 years ago, 4-year anniversary, Forrest emailed a lot of people and said, it's over. The treasure's been found. And we all said, Forrest Fenn said, what? He said, it's over. He said, it's been found. And then Carl makes him make this video. Jack's coming on down to Santa Fe. And Carl says, oh, hold on. You need to make this video for us. Actually, I rewatched part of the video of the interview that Cynthia did with Carl. And Carl says in that interview, Huli, if you can link it, it's the interview that Cynthia did with Carl. He's like, Forrest called him and just said, yeah, Jack's coming down with the chest. And Carl was like, hold on. No, he's not. Like, there's legal ramifications you haven't thought about, Forrest. Forrest is just ready to gift it to him and say, hey, good job. And that's it. And Forrest is like, no, he is not coming to your home. Because then what Carl said, which totally makes sense, is everybody would say you never hid it. You just picked Jack and he came to your home and just gave it to him from your vault. So he's like, that treasure chest will never go to your home, which totally makes sense now, right? He said, we're going to meet in a conference room, et cetera. And all that happened the way it happened. And when that happened back then, what? Uh-oh, you locked up. What happened? She's saying 10 reasons why. Look, guys, she's showing 9 fingers. 9 reasons why it's not 9 Mile Hole.
And hear you.
There you go. Now you're back. You froze up for a minute. Oh, is that what you were saying? It froze up? Okay. All right. We're going to have some fun with this. So,
Oh Lord.
And that's all we had. It was found, and Forrest wouldn't say anything else. But then he said, me and Jack have agreed to say it was found in Wyoming. So now we get a little more piece of the puzzle.
By
It
a
was
man
found in
I had not
Wyoming.
communicated with since
Right.
2018. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Keep
Right.
going. Keep
By
going.
a man I've not communicated with. Now, was that a lie? Did Forrest Fenn forget? What do you think? You think it was a straight up lie, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe he knew. He would have checked his. I mean, logic tells me if someone found it and I'm putting out a statement and I already know I'm being sued, that I better check my email for any other Jack emails because they might be subpoenaed in court later. You know,
that would be helpful.
I think Forrest is that smart, but so I think absolutely, I think it was a lie. I don't think Forrest had any intention of Jack's name coming out. The only reason Jack's name came out is because Forrest died. And so Forrest did not anticipate this scenario. He would have used his money to defend getting Jack's name not subpoenaed by a lawsuit. Okay.
All right. So here, let's just revisit this one time. Shiloh did not say that any video proves 9 Mile Hole is my point. That's true, Troy. Why must I go? The video, but the person who's, let me ask you this, Kpro. I don't want to speak out of turn. Is the person who saw the video, in that video, does Forrest say 9 Mile Hole?
Yes.
There you go. There you go, Troy. In the video, Forrest says 9 Mile Hole.
I've heard that from the 2 people that have seen the video.
There you go. But aside
from
that,
lying. But they're lying. There might be another.
Well, no, hang on. Here's my point. If Forrest Fenn lied about a person I never communicated with, then why isn't he lying also in the 9 Mile Hole video?
If you believe he goes over the 9 Mile Hole solution in the video that Shiloh has said no one has seen, sure, I can yes. If he can lie about one thing, why can't he lie about another? Is that what you're saying? And we've already caught him in a lie.
Yeah. And how do we discern what is a lie and what isn't a lie? And what do we accept it? Well, Forrest maybe fibbed on this, but not this. How do we know what he lied about and what he didn't lie about? Whether it was for a good reason to protect his family or whether it was some other reason. But let's get into what we know. So as the months progress, after he agreed to say it was in Wyoming, Shannon, our old friend Shannon, came out and said, I got a video. I got an email from Jack and it showed where he was searching. But you know what? That's secondhand information, in my opinion. So we throw it out of here. Get it out of here. That's secondhand info. She may have showed the email, but I don't really see that as Jack could have searched somewhere else. He could have lied in that email. So I don't really
search other places. So, okay, fine. We've thrown out more evidence of 9 Mile Hole. So you've thrown everything out so far. Okay,
no. Well, let's go through it. And then there was somebody that said, I found Jack's posts on Reddit. And on Reddit, he said he was searching the condor, right?
And it's Ben who makes up he's going to do $1 million hunt.
What? Wait, what?
Well, if Ben's the one that found Condor and Ben makes up shit all the time, throw out Condor.
Oh, I didn't know Ben was the one that found Condor. Is that right?
Ben says he is one of them.
Oh, I didn't realize. I thought it was somebody else. But anyway, they say these are Jack's posts from before it was found. And look, he was looking in 9 Mile Hole. But how do you know? I don't think the Reddit people, the Reddit experts, have ever really truly explained why they know that Condor was Jack. It seems to me to be they kind of put A, B, and C together to get F. So we throw it out. Throw it out of there. Throw it out. Go ahead.
Hooli says, Cowlazars, it came out later that the email from Jack was a fib too. No.
The email to Shannon? Wait, what's she referring to?
I think that's the email she's referring. I would love to hear you expound upon that. Because the email of Jack to Shannon, it absolutely existed, and Justin paid over $20,000 for it. That's the reason it didn't come out, but it absolutely existed, 100%. And when when Justin came in his AMA, asked me anything, and I said, "Did you pay Shannon? Can you just say it publicly?" He said, "If I did pay her, I wouldn't be able to say it contractually, but I sure would feel bad for that because it never came out to the community." Which to me said it as plain as day. But Hooli, if you have other information, I pretty much
Go ahead. Now, what is Hooli saying is a fib? Is she saying that Jack lied to Shannon? To me, that's the most probable. Yeah, that's the most. You didn't have to say everything you just said. That's the most, and that's why we have to throw it out. Jack emailed Shannon. I've been looking here. Well, is he actually going to tell her where he thinks he is, or is he going to tell her some other place that he searched and that's not where he found it? So that's why I say we have to throw it out because Jack could have lied.
Throw it out.
Maybe Jack's not the most honest person in the world, but you know what? Neither maybe was.
And we know that because he said that he never lived in Puerto Rico, and that was a lie. So Jack's a liar. believe Forrest. We're going to say fib because we like Forrest. So Forrest is a fibber, Jack's a liar. So unless we know it for a fact, so why are we ruling out Condor?
Just threw Shannon under the bus, didn't you? Anyway, we're not going to go there anymore. Let's just throw that email out. They found Jack's posts on Reddit that do confirm, I believe. Yeah. I mean, I didn't get into the Reddit stuff with Condor too much. I know you did, but I really didn't. We did shows on it, but you would put together the power.
Why are you ruling it out?
Well, I don't know how they proved it was Jack.
Okay.
And that's why, because I really don't know how they proved that.
So the very first post on Condor 2's database, the very first post was Jack Stoof calling Sarah Palin's grandchild retarded, and he had a bunch of commentary to that.
Okay.
Then there's a bunch, and this was back like 10 years, like 2010, 2011. And then in like 2013, 14, he posted and said, hey guys, I get a referral fee if you apply to this credit card. Can you please apply since I get the points or whatever? You know how if you refer someone and they get a Caesars card, you get some money or whatever. You click on that and it says, if you apply, Jonathan will get points. It doesn't say his last name, but it does say Jonathan. So that's the second evidence piece. God, I wish I would have known this stuff beforehand because I would. And then there are pieces all throughout the Condor database that I think it does not say I am Jack Stoof, but it absolutely, without a doubt, makes it seem. But you're right. Like, I would put someone on a murder trial and convict them murder, but is that 100%? No, it's just 99.999. But you're saying since we don't have Jack admitting that he's Condor, and we don't have it exactly, we have to throw out Condor.
Again, you have to weigh this evidence, right? So you have to weigh the email to Shannon. Could that have been a lie? You have to weigh, was that Jack on Reddit? And even if it was him on Reddit, and it says on those Reddit posts, it says he was searching at 9 Mile Hole, correct?
Searching. Yes.
In the Reddit post. But did it say he was searching anywhere else? In other words, I don't know if that proves that he's found it at 9 Mile Hole.
My stretch of the Madison. But to be fair, he also said, because I think he wanted to throw some people off, I no longer am searching there. I've moved my spot. So he did say he moved his spot.
Right. And again, it doesn't mean, like Alan said, I believe I'm Team Jack. I don't think he lied. Doesn't mean Jack lied. When he emailed Shannon, it doesn't mean he lied. He probably did search in that stretch of the Madison.
He did lie to us. He said he never lived in Puerto Rico, and he did. But just because someone fibs doesn't mean that I'm not team them. I mean, gosh, some people have friends that lie.
Right. Yeah.
Well, some people have friends, Alan, that lie all the time, but that doesn't mean they're bad people. They just lie a lot.
Okay, so we've got the Shannon's email. We've got Reddit. Then we've got the ping data. Some knucklehead somewhere says, I figured it out. I know by Jack's cell phone where he went. I don't know how all that went down. I don't know if I can believe that. Throw it out. Throw it out. It doesn't matter which shoulder, but you got to throw it out.
Yep.
Throw that out. Okay, so then what do we have? Okay, hang on. Why must I go? Says, if a clue video existed after the find, why didn't Jack and Forrest Fenn give the video to the Department of Interior, Department of Justice? Also, Shiloh never said the clue solutions are in the video. Why would they give it? I don't understand the question, Troy. Why would they give it to the Department of Justice? And that brings me to the Zoom that happened. And this you can't throw out. If you throw it out, you got to pull it back because this was in the court case. And they're not, I don't believe, no matter if you think there's a cover story or whatever, I don't think Carl is lying in federal court, or maybe that was state court, whatever, district court in Santa Fe. I don't think the family or anybody else is going to lie in court. So why did Forrest Fenn and Jack's lawyer, I'm assuming Carl's lawyer was there, even though it doesn't say, I'm assuming Forrest Fenn's lawyer, Carl, was there. Why did they have a Zoom with Sarah Davis, the Yellowstone National Park ranger, in August of 2020? If it wasn't in Yellowstone National Park, that's the first piece of real evidence in my mind as I think of this. Again, we're on a bridge here, people. But if that's the first piece of real evidence we have that came out in the court case, we didn't know about this at the time, but it came out in the court case. So if it wasn't in Yellowstone National Park, why did they have a Zoom with Sarah Davis? For the people who don't, let's forget about 9 Mile Hole. Let's just say Yellowstone National Park, because that's all that Zoom proves. Why would they have a Zoom
call? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I have to, because Toby says Sarah, on her spare time, it wasn't found in Yellowstone because Sarah, on her spare time, was covering other areas not under her jurisdiction. And Toby said it, and Toby's really smart. So Toby says it could be, that doesn't prove it's 9 Mile Hole. Toby said that. Toby, search.
It doesn't prove it's Yellowstone?
Yeah, he says that it's under Department of Defense because the official
Department of Interior.
Or Department of Interior, right. But not Yellowstone, even though she said a Yellowstone because she was like moonlighting for other jurisdictions.
Now, is it true that Sarah Davis was a friend of Forrest Fenn?
No.
It's not. Okay.
No, the head superintendent, I forgot his name, Huli would know it, was. And that's why he took himself out of the investigation and put Sarah Davis in charge. God, what was his name? Yeah.
It's Cam Shawley now, but that's not who it was back then. That's
Cam Shawley is the boss of
back then.
Yeah.
And Forrest Fenn was friends with Cam Shawley?
Yeah, for years and years and years. Yeah.
Ooh. So does that cast the whole thing in doubt or not? So why wouldn't he have zoomed with Cam Shawley? Why did he zoom then with Sarah Davis, I wonder?
From what I understand, Cam believed that he had a conflict of interest, having a personal friendship. So he removed himself from the investigation and had Sarah take it over.
Okay. So the real first piece of evidence in my mind is that there was a Zoom between Jack Forrest and Sarah Davis, the park ranger of Yellowstone National Park. So it doesn't prove 9 Mile Hole at all, but it does show that why would the park ranger be involved? Okay. The other thing is, what else? Well, after that, what was the other big news that came out of the court case? Oh, and here it is. Just in case you guys are wondering, I did a screenshot. So here, let me show it. Because it's been a while. It's been 4 years, everybody. So check it out. This is from the court case. Declaration of Sarah Davis. I, Sarah Davis, declare the following to be true and correct from personal knowledge. I am the chief ranger for Yellowstone National Park. My office address is blah, blah, blah. In August of 2020, a Zoom meeting was held with Forrest Fenn, attorney Tom Nasco, and Jack Stoof. At this meeting, Mr. Stoof provided detailed, specific information regarding the location where he found the Forrest Fenn treasure box on or about June 6, 2020. Forrest Fenn then confirmed the location as the same location where he left the Fenn treasure. Using Google Earth, I was able to locate and match the area described by both Stoof and Fenn. The following week, I, along with the deputy chief ranger, went to the area described by both Stoof and Fenn. So if it wasn't in Yellowstone National Park, why are they meeting with them? If it wasn't in Yellowstone National Park, why is the park ranger going to the location the following week? To me, that doesn't make any sense.
And that's what, well, I can tell you what Toby says and some of the others. They say it's because she needed to schedule a whole week out because she was leaving her park area and going to the middle of nowhere in Wyoming, not the park, and that's why she needed a week's time to get out there.
Chris Yates says one of Sarah Davis's jurisdiction she was covering, in addition to Yellowstone, would have been Bridger National Forest. I don't know if that's true or not.
And we're going to see that on Netflix, everyone.
Okay. Now
there's so much happening in chat that I want to talk to, but I know that you have to go through it. Yeah.
We can go through it. As I said, 4 hours, everybody. Yeah. Brian Poe says, why would she need Google Earth? Well, I think she needs to verify. She wants to go to the location. Why? Because she needs to find out if it is a threat with people going to visit it. So why would she go? Why would she use Google Earth? Because she needs to know where to go. So in my opinion, I think Jack gave her GPS coordinates and she looked it up on Google Earth.
Well, and not only that, we have a friend that owns a pizza place up in Yellowstone. Yeah. Right after there was a large orange cone placed at the approximate location across the. So you need to know, is it across the river? Is it next to the wet creek, the dry creek? It could take you 22 days if you don't have a jet. You bring it up on Google Earth, which I have 1,000 times. Okay, it's across the river from Fenn Rock, about 100 feet. So we're talking about right here, rather than up where the island is or down below or any of that. From what I understand during the meeting, that was, yeah.
Right. So it was in a national park. Can we at least agree to that? Reasonable, logical people that aren't overly obsessed with the thrill of the chase and Forrest Fenn's treasure. It was in a national park. If it wasn't in a national park, there was no reason to Zoom with Sarah Davis. That's what I feel has been proven by the court case.
See, I think it proves Yellowstone personally.
Me too.
Because if you are in a court case, a legal situation, You only cover your own. You don't like bring somebody in from another jurisdiction. Personally, I think that proves Yellowstone, but some believe that it only means that it was something under the DOI.
August of 2020. I don't know if we ever got an exact date, but in the court filing we just showed, it says August of 2020.
Oh, there's Bavetta did a Zoom and a FOIA and actually got her calendar FOIA'd.
Oh, there
and
you
it
go.
says exactly what day it was.
So you can find the date, everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
He has a great website. Hooli, please post it. I don't know.
Okay. So the next thing is, check it out. Now, we also know that in that court case, the Department of Interior filed an injunction, if that's the correct term, for Jack not to testify.
No, it's actually called an intervention.
Intervention? Okay.
It's
Here,
funny.
let me show exhibit number 2 to the jury. And again, I'm not trying to sway anybody's opinion one way or the other. I'm just trying to come up with what makes sense to me. Okay. And through this court case is how we got this information. The government's motion reveals that Mr. Stoof and Fenn disclosed to the chief ranger and the deputy chief ranger that the treasure chest had been hidden by Fenn and found and retrieved by Mr. Stoof on land within their specific jurisdiction, National Park.
Specific jurisdiction means Yellowstone. Yes.
I believe it was in Yellowstone.
Okay, I didn't realize that. Okay, specific jurisdiction, that is specifically Yellowstone.
Yeah, Mr. Stoof and the estate have been and are still mindful of the potential liability of parties who cause damage, either directly or indirectly, under the System Unit Resource Protection Act. And I know the super, and we had a big show on that this is what the issue was, why they couldn't disclose it. Mm-hmm. As a result of the potential liability and for other reasons, the estate and Stoof have not disclosed the location in Wyoming. Okay. So
yeah, so Chris Yates is saying, how does that prove national park? Specific jurisdiction.
Specific jurisdiction.
If you look at what the superintendent of Yellowstone's specific jurisdiction is, that would mean Yellowstone.
Right.
Okay.
And Hooli wants to point out that is a very good website. Who put that website up? Vertigo?
Vertigo's fabulous too. Bavetta.
Bavetta, I'm sorry. Bavetta put that up. It explains it in detail. Go check it out if you get a chance.
Okay, so up to this point, I'm just catching everybody up. Some people are coming in late, etc. The only evidence that you have not said, get out of here, it's gone, is 1, Wyoming, and 2, now Yellowstone. But we have not gotten, there's no evidence that takes us any further because we had to rule out the emails. Shannon's email was fake. Forrest lied about some stuff. And there's nothing specific yet that says, so all we have, and I know you're going to keep going down this train, the only things that have not been thrown off the island, like Survivor, is Wyoming and Yellowstone, correct?
All right. Traveler Joe comes up with if you accept those two things we just said as fact, Traveler Joe just comes up with the conspiracy theory. Forrest had the chest relocated to Yellowstone. If the park seized it, then he couldn't be sued. If the park didn't seize the chest and let Jack keep it, then he had a solver. Win-win. So let me show you this. This also came out in the court case.
Okay, wait. Zapster says, I've admitted not 9 Mile Hole because I'm admitting that I'm wrong. Look at the title. Okay, I went over what I'm admitting I'm wrong about. I admitted I was wrong that Shiloh had a gag order, or the reason that Shiloh doesn't, as Maya Must Go says, man up, is because of his participation in Netflix. We don't know why, but I was wrong saying it was due to his Netflix contract because he just blew up Netflix and said they didn't pay us enough for the chest or for the video. So that's what I was wrong about.
Yeah, if you guys look at the title, guys, Kpro admits she was wrong, period, exclamation point. She's admitting she was wrong about Shiloh, not about 9 Mile Hole. Two separate topics. If you don't like that I put it together in the title, suck it. It doesn't matter. She admits she was wrong about Shiloh, not about 9 Mile Hole. Kpro knows it was 9 Mile Hole. I'm going down the conspiracy theory bridge of why, and could there be something else going on here?
No, and let me be clear, because Mike just put words in my mouth that I want to just make a small clarification.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that the preponderance of the evidence shows that it was 9 Mile Hole.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do believe I have seen enough of the transcript of that damn video. Yeah, I said it. Send it to Shiloh, guys. I have seen enough of the transcript of that damn video that I do believe in Condor, and I do believe in the court documents, and I do believe in Jack's emails, and I do believe that there's enough preponderance of the evidence. But I have been wrong in the past, and I'm always willing. Mike wanted to say, logically, what can we rule out? Like the ping data. Let's rule it out because it's not It's not.
Throw it
It
out.
should not meet our threshold. So he's throwing shit out left and right. And
Right.
all I'm saying is I'm willing to do this exercise to get down to the bare bones of what we know based on evidence. And then at the end, is that enough evidence to say 9 Mile Hole? I'm going to walk through this exercise first before I say absolutely not or absolutely yes, because Mike asked me to, and I do anything he says. I love, honor, and obey him.
Odious Soul is in the house. If I signed an NDA about receiving 20K, then I couldn't even denounce it. Those things you can't confirm or deny if you signed an NDA. And I'm saying I did not receive 20K. So, Kpro, once again, you're wrong.
Well, no, I will say, and I didn't hear this from Shannon. I heard there was a range, and I kind of picked in the middle of a range. I didn't hear anything, but I did ask Justin, and he said the same thing. I can't confirm or deny it, but I sure do feel bad if that happened because Shannon can't share it with the community now. But I can't say it because it's in the contract that I can't say it. So exactly 20K, no, because I know that there had to be tax issues, that you had to take the taxes out. And again, I heard none of this from Shannon, but I sure heard some interesting details. More shit comes out with drinking.
Here's the problem. Yeah. Here's the problem. And why must I go touched upon it? The lie is that nobody has seen any video. You base everything on hearsay. And that's true. It's all secondhand information. Yeah. So for the searcher that says they saw the video, throw it out. It's secondhand information.
Throw it out, you big liar, you snake, you liar.
Well, that's not actually secondhand. That's direct testimony. She's saying she saw it, but if you don't believe her, then you throw it out.
Throw it out. So, no, we're throwing it out because we don't believe her. Throw it out. Throw it out. Throw it out.
Tigger says there was a picture of 9 Mile Hole in TTOTC, so therefore it can't be there. Now that's a sticky point. It is. No. But think about what Forrest said. There are subtle clues in the Thrill of the Chase.
What was he
I never wrote down the solution.
There's a picture of it. I mean,
yeah, I don't think it rules it out that it could be there. I think the simplest solution is sometimes the easiest.
Can you highlight Odious Soul's thing? Can you highlight it? I love her. She says, LOL, like we believe anything Justin says. God, I love her.
Nice.
I love her. Okay, I'm sorry.
All right. But I just wanted to show this before we went off on another bridge.
So we know the Supra, we know Yellowstone, and we know Wyoming. Okay.
So this is Jack's email to Forrest Fenn, June 5, 2020. Remember, Jack says he talked to Forrest, but I think Forrest said, email me. Like, you got to prove it. Like, email me. So he emailed him this picture. Provided as part of discovery in the probate case in April 2022.
Yep.
Does that, in my opinion, that chest lid does not look like it was moved to Yellowstone and then covered up real quick. That has been there for quite a while, in my opinion. It does not look like something that Jack relocated. Okay. My opinion. That's all. But
now, do you believe that log matches the log that Rudy found at 9 Mile Hole that is now missing? I believe.
Yeah, that's another part about the stick. The stick. And you know what? The stick, throw it out. I think you got to throw it out.
Why?
Because some people can look at it and say it matches, and some people can look at it and say it doesn't match.
Some people believe fingerprints match. Some people don't. So because of that crack that was bigger or smaller.
Exactly. The magic bullet. I mean, crack. Exactly.
Okay. Well, I'm starting to get the red button. Where's my red? Oh, Eric took it. I got a red button, guys. Eric took
Punched Orphan. There's the name of the night. He says if the information Shiloh has about the final solve is so valuable, why would he show another searcher? Two people can keep a secret if one of them is dead. Yeah, he didn't. Nobody's saying Shiloh showed anybody.
Oh, and there's a lot of questions. Here would be a question I would love for one of the spokespeople to ask. Has Shiloh seen it? Because a lot of people think Shiloh might have been like sent to negotiate, but he has not seen the video. I think he has, but I guess I can see it. I don't know. Keep going.
Now, Bill Gorman, this is actually an important point. Sarah Davis ran the Department of Interior Region 7, Upper Colorado Basin, including Utah, Wyoming, Colorado, New Mexico. Did she do that while she was the chief ranger of Yellowstone is the question. And I don't know the answer. That would be interesting to know. Did she run, and I don't know what you mean by ran, those areas in addition while she was the chief ranger of Yellowstone when they did the Zoom? That's a good question. You trying to find that out, Kpro? Are you texting Carl right now?
No.
Oh, okay. So we do know, if anything, guys, I think the court case proves without a doubt that it was on Department of Interior land. Can we at least get through that? Can we at least agree upon that
jurisdiction? I would say Yellowstone, but This is your show, so whatever the hell you want.
You know, I'm trying to keep it open for the people. For the people. Hang on. Kpro, didn't you say last week that Shiloh did see the video?
I think it just makes sense to me that he did, but I don't know. Some people say that the audios because it has all the muffling and it's so close that Shiloh was secretly recording his grandpa. I don't think so. And I think he saw the video. I do not know. I've never had a discussion of Shiloh with the video. He's right. And he's not really involved. I hate to say he's not really involved. Justin never talked to him, and Justin bought the chest. And I know Shiloh said the chest isn't going to be sold without me knowing. Don't you know who I am? No, it was sold, and you weren't even invited to the influencer event. So I think he has an important place, but his place isn't the only place in all of the chase. So anyway, that's my. Yeah. So no, I do think he's seen it, but I think he's kind of involved. Some people say we have no proof. He has never said that he saw the video, and he only recently confirmed there was a video. So I do not know. So I'm going to throw it out. Throw it out. I don't know. Throw it out. Stop this nonsense, Mike.
Yeah, Troy.
Just keep going, Mike.
Yeah, I'll ignore it. Okay. Okay. So through the court case, we know Department of Interior. We know there was a Zoom with Yellowstone Park Chief Park Ranger Sarah Davis.
Okay.
And then you look at Yellowstone and you say, well, would Forrest have hit it in Yellowstone? The case for yes is because he grew up there as a kid and he was a fishing guide. And hey, whatever. Guess what, everybody? The poem actually sounds like it relates to fishing, doesn't it? Homer Brown, put in, all that fun stuff. That's a case for. You could say a case against is that it can't be Yellowstone because Forrest talked about Yellowstone all the time. And, he said he never talked about it. I think he meant the actual location, but I think Yellowstone makes sense to me. Why didn't Chief Ranger take notes of the Zoom call? Well, how do you know she did? Well, there'd be an official record if
they're
she did.
Redacted. There
are, but they're redacted.
And redacted, yeah. Oh, they've tried.
Forrest had no lawyers at the Zoom call. Do you think Carl wasn't at the Zoom call?
No, I asked Carl. I said, why isn't your name on the FOIA? And he goes, it's the craziest thing. I was the one in the discussion, and they didn't include my name. He just thinks there were several names, and one was, but we can't take that. Throw it out. We don't know. Conspiracy. Throw it out.
I can't imagine the lawyer that wouldn't let the treasure chest come to Forrest's house because of legal liability and made Forrest make a video of the 9 clues is not on the Zoom call.
Right. Throw it out, though. No, throw it out.
All right.
Okay, so we have Wyoming, Yellowstone because of specific jurisdiction, and Supra. That's all we have right now. How do we get to 9 Mile Hole, Mike? If that's your real name.
It becomes of the picture. We get the 9 Mile Hole from the picture. If this picture would never have come out, nobody could tie it to 9 Mile Hole. So I blame again the court case, not blame, but the court case is how this picture came out. Correct? It never came out before, did it? Or did Forrest release this picture?
No, hell no. That came out.
Okay.
That came out in the court hearing. Yeah.
This picture, and people said we're going to find that log. They found the log. Some people think it's the log. Some people think it's not the log. Then there was a stick in the chest that just blew in there. And then Rudy says he found the stick. It sure does look like it. It sure does match. And he found that at 9 Mile Hole. So, but how? Let me ask you this, Kpro. Even with this picture, why did people go to 9 Mile Hole to look for this log? Why not somewhere else in Yellowstone? Why 9 Mile Hole back then? The first person to ever go to
Condor, and we had the emails from Jack that said, I've been searching 9 Mile Hole forever.
Yep. And we had the oil tree, right? And we had the fake blaze of the shovel and the skull or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
and we had Fat Rock.
And Diggin' Gypsy. Jack was trying to get a hold of Diggin' Gypsy. Ooh,
so when you put all those things together, it does make the case for 9 Mile Hole. Now, a lot of it you have to throw out in a court of law, which is what I think Forrest wanted. He didn't want it to be able to be proven in a court of law. But the video is the thing. I think if that video came out of Forrest going over the 9 clues and saying 9 Mile Hole, and wasn't there a map that somebody signed? We supposed to talk about that or no?
I don't care. There is a map, and there is an X at 9 Mile Hole, and Forrest wrote 9 Mile Hole and put the date, which was whatever date, and signed it at 9 Mile Hole. So I think that
in the video
that map needs to come out in the video at the end of the video.
Right.
if you believe there's a video, send this to
There you
Shiloh.
go.
At the end of that video, Forrest circles or puts an X. I'd have to check my notes of 9 Mile Hole, and then puts 9 Mile Hole, puts the date, and signs it. And that was going to be entered into evidence if it was needed, but the court cases, it was not needed.
I think 9 Mile Hole is a perfect solve and fits Fenn perfectly. People don't want to believe it because it doesn't fit with their perspective. Well, I'll also say this. There's also Rumblings and Ramblings 2.0 that Dale posted before he was asked to take it down by the family. And in that 2.0,
out loud, that's a little much. Asked by
he
legal.
sent a legal letter to take it down. If he wouldn't have taken it down, I wonder if the family would have actually followed through with it.
But you can find it up on Twitter, everyone.
Right. And in that Rumblings and Ramblings 2.0, there is a paragraph of Forrest about why 9 Mile Hole is so special to him, correct?
Yes. And it says that's where he wants to die, and he hopes that Shiloh and Little Sam meet his spirit at 9 Mile Hole, because that's where he will be.
All right. So that's
is that made up? Is that made up? Is that made up? Say it.
That's the case for 9 Mile Hole. But now we're going to flip it. Now we went over the conspiracy theory bridge. Now we're going to go over another conspiracy theory bridge, everybody. Now we're going to say Forrest Fenn moved it. Oh, go ahead, Kpro. Go through the chat, then we'll go into how and why Forrest Fenn moved
first, it. Okay, so the only thing you're saying based on the evidence is Wyoming, Yellowstone, and Supra. Do you believe Jack was the finder in this scenario?
Jack retrieved the treasure chest. Yes, he did.
Do you believe there was a nudge or a moving or a whatever?
That's another part of this was Jack nudged. Did he find it legitimately, which you can say legitimately is not with a metal detector, but whatever. Or was he nudged? I don't know. Actually, I don't know. What do you think?
Oh, I've thought all along it was found at 9 Mile Hole and Jack was nudged.
So you think Forrest in some way, shape, or form told Jack it's at 9 Mile Hole?
No, it was definitely found in September. Jack even says that on the other video.
Hang on.
I think Forrest absolutely
hang on. No. You got to say it now that you said it. And people can throw it out if they want to, but you at least have to say it.
I've said it before.
In the conference room with Forrest and Jack and all the treasure chest contents on the table, that is recorded by Carl. There is a recording of that.
By Tom Nasco. And
2-hour meeting. Yeah, whoever recorded it. Of that 2-3 hour meeting.
Yeah.
And in that meeting, if you believe somebody who claims to have seen that video, Jack talks about finding it when in 2019?
Well, there's a little controversy. September 3rd or 23rd.
September.
Let's just say there's conflicting notes on this. So it's either, I believe it was September 3rd, and that he told Forrest, and wait till you see the video. Well, that one won't come out because that takes both of them to agree. But go ahead.
Right. So in other words, Jack did confirm in that video that he found it in September, got the bright idea to go to Puerto Rico and establish residency, and then come back and find it. And then COVID started to end of 2019, 2020. He had to wait for the park to open in June. And when it did, he went and he says he metal detected it then in June, but he actually metal detected it in September the previous year to find it. And then
if you look at the pictures, they are more conducive to those pictures are actually from September. The one that you said wasn't, conflicting notes. The one that wasn't dug up, the picture with the log, that's actually from September when he originally found it. Right,
exactly. So that's a whole other wrinkle to this whole thing is when did he actually find it and all that fun.
Okay, so now you're going into we're on conspiracy theory bridge, so why not?
This is a second conspiracy theory bridge, everybody. Somebody just emailed me and said, my opinion is Creighton Fenn, who can find anything, moved it for Forrest Fenn. So here's for those people who think Forrest moved it, here's the question. Number one, why would he move it? Why would Forrest Fenn? So let's say Forrest Fenn wanted it over. Okay. People are crazy. People are suing. Somebody broke into the house. Hatchet Man. We know all these people.
No, the one trying Paco. That's why it was called off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He had reasons to want to end it. Okay. If Forrest Fenn did want to end it, why would he have it moved and then ended? That is the question. Why not just nudge Jack to where it actually was? You said you think Jack was nudged. Some people are saying it can't be 9 Mile Hole. He moved it. Why would Forrest have it moved? And that's what I want to explore. So let's talk about that for a minute, which is
that
a real
moved. Why would
Forrest want the original location kept a secret? If he's going to end it, why would he want the original location kept a secret? So let's look at the logistics. Somebody has to go retrieve it and move it to 9 Mile Hole. Here's the other question. If he did that, if this occurred, why would he move it to 9 Mile Hole in Yellowstone, which is in the book, which is by Fenn Rock, which was the important fishing hole? Why would he pick that spot to move it to? I mean, you have to answer these questions if you're going to seriously think that he had it moved or moved. He didn't move it himself, obviously. He had it moved.
Because there's a second chest.
Well, that's a whole other, I don't know about all that. But if he did move it, who moved it for him? Why did he have it move? And why did he pick 9 Mile Hole to move it to? And did he do all this before he nudged Jack? Did he nudge Jack to get it from its original location? And he says, you move it over here. I'll only tell you where it is if you move it to 9 Mile Hole. I mean, does that make any sense? Does that pass the smell test?
No. Like, so he'd been preparing this for 15 years. He wanted to share it with his searchers. Searchers are all he had left, but now he doesn't want it shared because his family gave him an ultimatum. That doesn't make sense to me. There's no logical pattern of why it moved. Now, could Jack have moved it and the auction website be real? That's a maybe. That's a maybe. Or I have one. If Jack ultimately told Forrest, I found it, but I'm not going to pick it up until you give me tax information, and he went and he had Creighton go and pick it up and move it, but nothing makes sense. No, this is ridiculous. Let's move on.
Forrest wouldn't just give away the solution, especially to somebody who wasn't a true finder. Hang on.
Okay, wait.
Mike and Kpro, if you believe in 9 Mile Hole, prove the clues from the poem on a map. Seriously, you have to offer more. But we've done that, and it makes sense. I'm sorry, but when Forrest Fenn said your solution should fit on a Post-it note,
right?
That's a simple, logical solution.
And Douglas Preston said it was too easy. It really is.
The fire hole is warm waters. The Fire Hole River halts at Madison Junction. That's where warm waters halt. You take it in the canyon down, which is what, Madison Canyon? And the road is named Canyon that you drive on. Too far to walk. You drive down the canyon drive, or you could say you go down the actual Madison Canyon. The home of Brown. Was it brown trout up on a wall? Was it just a fishing hole? It could be. I mean, it's not impossible that can't be it. Was that Jeremy?
No, lots of people have this solution before, like Digging Gypsy, Scrapbook 50, where he said he's betting on her and put an Omega on Scrapbook 50. We have pictures of her in that spot.
I personally have no problems that the 9 clues don't fit. They do fit in a simplistic way. And now I know what people are going to say. You have to throw it out because it took them 15 years to write that poem. It's a simplistic video about fishing, and it really took them 15 years to write, and every noun was important, and I had to look up words. Yeah, it could have taken him that long to word it the right way.
Yeah,
he showed it to Douglas Preston, and Douglas Preston was like, that's too easy, Forrest. You got to change it. And then he changed it.
This is what Vista Home says. These are wild things coming out by Kpro. This is a good show. See, I think what he means is, Condor, you got to throw all this stuff out that I've been saying. I'm not the source of it all, but Rudy's wrong. Rimsbrock's wrong. Ben's wrong. The court case is wrong. Jack's wrong. Shannon's wrong. Justin's wrong. You guys are all wrong. Throw me out for trusting all you sons of.
So for anybody that wants to know how the 9 clues worked in the theory, and yes, it is a theory, go to fenchess.com. It spells it out. But here's the other thing. Let's go back to the first conspiracy theory bridge. It wasn't 9 Mile Hole for the 10 years. People look there. People were there looking. A lot of people went up to Dry Creek Bed. Why wasn't it found earlier? Why did Jack have to metal detect
Broken Blaze?
And let's go back to the court case for the Broken Blaze, Doug Llewellyn. All right. First, for the double Omegas, I don't know about this. You put it in the PowerPoint back then, Kpro. This is
You're using my own words against
this is 9 Mile Hole right here, and the road and the river looks like an Omega, so that could be the double Omegas. In other words, the canyon and the road right there. I don't know. I don't really see it, but for you double Omega people, that just has to fit in the solution. That's a possibility, I guess. But let's talk about the Blaze. Oh, and then there's the slip up of why Jack went to 9 Mile Hole. He wanted to die at his favorite. I still go back to that place and die at my favorite. And he cuts off fishing hole would make sense.
That's not, but that's not hard evidence.
That's not hard. Throw it out.
Throw it out. Throw that out.
Here's Jack's words on the damaged blaze. Why, if it wasn't 9 Mile Hole for the 10 years, why nobody found it? Jack says, I think it would be very difficult to read it as a blaze with the treasure no longer sitting there under it. I had been within 6 feet of it before without realizing it was the blaze. How is that possible? He was within 6 feet and didn't realize it was the blaze.
Because it had crap all over the top. It was buried, no matter if he said it. And it was randomly out in the middle of freaking nowhere. Like, it wasn't a special spot. It was a special general location. But that random down tree 150 feet in, it didn't stand out once that tree was down.
Forrest was somewhat surprised about the damaged blaze when I told him it had happened. Yes, all the other clues are recognizable out there at this point, the same as when he hit it. But none of them were as susceptible to damage as the blaze was. But that's not all. There's a hint in the book. Was the natural damage that the blaze suffered something that occurred slowly, like erosion or settling over the 10 years, or rather suddenly, like if not specifically the things Forrest Fenn mentioned, like forest fire, earthquake, floods. And Jack says suddenly. It was suddenly damaged. So to me, that means lightning or fire of some kind, or the tree fell over. Actually, we think it fell over. Then the question is, why did it fall over? The blaze
we went into that with all the bugs and all of that. Yeah.
The blaze was clearly damaged by forces of nature. Okay, that was all I just wanted to say for the people that think if it was out there, why wasn't it found? Because the blaze was damaged. We know that. Okay. If you believe Jack, I guess if you don't believe Jack, you can throw it out, but you got to believe.
We have to believe Jack because Zoe said that Jack was the finder, and that's why she handed over, or she was going to hand over his information to the courts. And Shiloh has said Jack is the finder, retriever, and owner of the treasure chest. He didn't know when he wasn't, but he did know. So how do you deal with that, Michael Cowling?
You got to throw Shiloh out. No, you can't throw Shiloh out.
Why can't we throw Shiloh out? Forrest could have lied to, if he's getting pressure from the family to call it off.
Let's go back over the other conspiracy theory bridge to the second one that Forrest lied. This whole thing was a sham to protect what? To protect the location or to protect his family? One or the other. So what would Forrest had to have done to move the treasure chest and to set this whole thing up? What would he had to have done? He would have had to have contacted somebody to move it. So somebody knows the real location. Could that be Shiloh? It could be. Could it be Dale? I don't think Dale. I think Dale was upset at the ending. So I don't know if Dale did it. I think Dale would have kept it. If Forrest would have said, move this for me, before Dale would have kept it. So it's possible that Shiloh moved it for him from the real location to 9 Mile Hole. I'll accept that as a possibility. So then Forrest decides, now who am I going to get to retrieve it from 9 Mile Hole? I'm going to get the guy that keeps emailing me that he thinks it's at 9 Mile Hole, Mr. Jack Stoof. And he tells him it's at 9 Mile Hole, go get it. And that's why Jack focuses on 9 Mile Hole. Metal detects it. So, but doesn't that also mean that Shiloh had to pick a spot that had a broken blaze to make it look like it actually was there the whole time? You can't just
Why wouldn't he pick Diggin' Gypsy? Why wouldn't he pick Ricky Nowak? Oh, wait. So Ricky was the one in the FOIA that Forrest said he was searching 9 Mile Hole. And he said, Forrest, if you find him with it, don't confiscate it from him and give him back to me. Rick was searching at 9 Mile Hole. Why would he say that?
Chasing Indy thinks Matt DeMoss moved it. Who was at the house the day that Jack called? Isn't that right?
Yeah.
But so was Cynthia. What if Cynthia's involved?
No, don't spread bullshit. No, she wasn't.
Throw it out. That's a rumor. Throw it out. Okay. But here's the deal. Think about it. Forrest would have had it moved, maybe by Shiloh. Then he's got to contact a searcher to go get it. Jack. The blaze is broke. How do you tell Jack where it is without sending him GPS? He'd have to metal detect it, right? I mean, you could say go across.
I'm with you. Wait, I'm with you with the earlier discussion.
Okay.
There is no evidence. If you take evidence, what is the evidence that he moved it? He picked Jack randomly, etc. This one is crazy town.
But this is also why it's crazy. Think about what Forrest had to have done. He had to have made this video with Carl where he lied his butt off. if you believe the person that saw the video, right?
Yeah.
He also would have lied in court. But he also did lie when he says it's a searcher who I didn't have contact with. That was a lie, right?
Right.
So if he lied about that, could he also lie about having it moved? I think it makes, and to me, just weighing the two, I think it makes more sense that he gave it to somebody to go get it to end it, not that he had it moved.
Well, this is everybody in chat saying it's because there's two chests. And obviously you have just proven there's two chests. So is there a scenario in your crazy town?
That's the third bridge, two chests. This is the third bridge. So now, okay, so there's conspiracy theory number 3. The original chest is still there in its location. He had Shiloh put a second chest out in 9 Mile Hole. Then he gave Jack
not even involved in the chase. And those years, Shiloh chauffeured his grandpa in. Other than that, Shiloh wasn't involved in the chase. So Shiloh is now okay. Go ahead.
Well, if he did this whole thing to protect his family, I don't think Shiloh knows any of this, right? Yeah. Shiloh is part of his family.
Mindless theories. I agree, Paul Seeker.
Is that a spot where you would want your final resting place to be? If that 9 Mile fishing hole on the Madison was so special to me, I'm going to go off in the woods. Yeah. I think he just picked a tree that had a blaze, or a tree that he could make a blaze.
And that specific spot isn't, but we know that Forrest fished there with both his grandfather and his father. And Shiloh told me personally, not secondhand, and now it might be a conspiracy, but he told me personally that him and his whole family had been up with Forrest at 9 Mile Hole fishing. So,
all right, he used to race Grandpa Simpson to the spot, right?
Yeah, I do need more beer, Barry.
Who was in charge? Nice. Well, conspiracy theory bridges are thirsty work, that's for sure. So just think about it, guys. What you're saying is that Forrest moved it or had it moved, that he nudged Jack to go find it. That's a horrible ending. That cannot be the ending to the thrill of the chase.
Okay, let me ask a question then. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
2 of our most loud and leading tuber celebrities in the chase absolutely talk about this pretty consistently, that it was moved. There's
something else out there.
And it's not 9 Mile Hole. Why would Shiloh pick his 2 spokespeople to be the people that are so against 9 Mile Hole if it wasn't not 9 Mile Hole? That's, I think, some leading evidence. So Shiloh, I think, has cast more doubt, maybe purposefully, on 9 Mile Hole by just the spokespersons that he has selected. No?
Well, here's the problem. If Forrest Fenn nudged somebody, that's a horrible ending to the chase, and he lied. If Forrest Fenn had it moved, that's a horrible ending to the chase, and he lied. If there's a second chest out there, did Forrest Fenn lie if there's a second
Shiloh
chest?
said there is not one. Shiloh has flat out said there is not one.
I think Forrest did lie when he said it's the chest that I hid has been found. In his affidavit, he said Jack Stoof found it in the location that I hid it. And for all those reasons, you got to throw it out. Throw all that stuff out, because if that's the case, that Forrest Fenn lied about his treasure hunt, that's a horrible ending.
Mike said the video in questions involved the solution. Shiloh's statement did not state such a thing. He called it the solution, and now he's called it a video. Or no, what did he say? Audio or whatever.
Video.
He called it solution. He called it this. That was the word he used.
Well, let's look. It's a text message. I have never denied that there was some sort of private audio or visual where my grandfather talks about the clues in the poem. That's what he said. He talks about the clues in the poem. But why would he talk about the clues in the poem after it's found when you want to give the solution? I mean, but that means he lied in that entire video too. That's why I'm saying it can't be. It has to be 9 Mile Hole. Because if it's not, Forrest Fenn lied way too much. Forrest Fenn is not the person that I thought he was if he lied about this ending. I don't care if he did it to protect his family or not.
No, but you just opened the door to say if he absolutely, and this is Ben's point. So you and Ben are on the same page. I want to go barf in the toilet. If Forrest lied about 2018 and not communicating with him since 2018, isn't everything fair game? Once you lie once, you're always, wait, I just had a great discussion with a family member about this. Once you lie about one thing, isn't everything open to be a liar about? It's come full circle, baby.
I cannot imagine that Forrest Fenn lied about all that. He lied in this video. He lied talking to Jack. I mean,
But
whole
it's okay.
thing is just a
But
lie.
we're going to ignore that.
Lie.
But why did he lie about, I haven't communicated with a man since 2018? Why are you ignoring one little lie? Might not seem important, but it does give you the context that he's able to lie. We know for a fact, if we look at the evidence he presented, that was a lie.
Shiloh has never confirmed at all if he heard the solve from his grandpa or Jack. It's just that simple. That's true.
No, Shiloh has said he knows everything, and he's bringing, and he didn't say, like, in parentheses what everything is, but he says he knows everything. Wouldn't everything logically say?
Able to lie or just old and made a mistake?
At a time that things were being cleared by lawyers before they went out, if Forrest put that together, I would think Carl is a very good attorney. I think Carl and Hickey would have been saying, do you know this for a fact? Have you checked your emails, etc.?
That Forrest Fenn lied about, it would tarnish the thrill of the chase. Forrest Fenn was all about legacy. And
okay.
Right?
So we know that Shiloh uses Chasing Indy as a spokesperson as well. Why don't you bring up the reason Fenn made the chase was to gain attention to reveal the alleged murder of Skippy. Shout out to the CIA and Victoria Peak. If we're going to go down conspiracy theory bridge, Shiloh has picked this person to communicate. We can't discount what she's saying.
Candy is a friend of ours who has some very big conspiracy. There's not a bridge big enough for your conspiracy theories, Candy. I'm sorry.
She was on a Zoom with Shiloh. Shiloh was drinking wine, talking about threesomes, getting wild and crazy.
That just shows that the people he picks to communicate with don't have anything to do with the solution.
That's not true. I say the opposite. Maybe it is what she says. Maybe it isn't 9 Mile Hole. I'm on your train now, baby. You got me on the train. All the crazies are on there. I'm heading the crazy train.
I cannot imagine that Forrest lied about the ending, the whole thing. I can't imagine that he nudged Jack. I can't imagine that there was another chest he never talked about. Can't imagine that he had it moved. Because if he did and that ever came out, it would make it worse than Masquerade. It would make it worse than any other treasure hunt in the world. I mean,
so like if it came out, so then you make sure that the emails provided maybe aren't all inclusive and are only certain emails.
That means all the emails to Jack were fabricated. It means the whole thing was made up. Talk about a conspiracy. It doesn't make any sense to me. Forrest may have misremembered some things. Forrest may have not wanted it found and threw some searchers off, right? Told Digging Gypsy to go somewhere else, that type thing. But to say that the whole thing was a lie in the end, I cannot imagine that Forrest would do that. That's just my opinion. But that's where I'm at with this. I think 9 Mile Hole makes sense because it makes the most sense for the way it played out, for the way that it happened. I can't imagine that. I mean, Toby's thing was nobody got arrested, so it can't be in a national park. Well, they worked it out. Obviously, they worked it out. Nobody got arrested, and they worked it out. So it's not a lie. I'd bet money on it. It's not a lie. It's a legacy. Yeah.
Oh, my God. I did not insinuate that. No, I don't even think Indy has met Shiloh. Please don't insinuate that I had a threesome with Shiloh. No, I walked up when he said to you guys, you wanted to see the 150-foot string. And he said, if you guys have a threesome with me, and I looked at both of you like I walked into something out of context. What? I was playing poker. I walked away. I said this before. No, he was just drunk. He drinks. He's joking. He had 2 bottles of wine that night. He was having fun. He made the comment. He made the magic carpet ride comment to other people. I'm not even going back here. I did not insinuate a threesome. He's engaged, for God's sake. No, not in any way.
You want to talk about ethics and Forrest Fenn lying and things. What 2 adults do is between them. That's how I answer those questions. That stuff. You are assuming there's been an ending. No, I'm not assuming. Forrest Fenn said it was over. Forrest Fenn said it was over. He emailed us all that his treasure hunt was over. I'm not assuming anything. So you cannot throw that out, future Gold Channel.
But wait, Shiloh has said, don't go back out. There's nothing more to find. No, not in any way. Stop it. No. Now there are bells and jars, he has said, or one of them, the other. There's no second chest. There's nothing more to hunt for. Do not get into blah, 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 blah,
blah. What water high is at 9 Mile Hole? Again, do we need to go through the 9 clues? It's the Madison River. It's high when there's runoff. There are waters high in the river, right? Or am I misremembering what that means? Heavy loads are the boulders and water high is the water.
I don't know, but you're going to see some epic. It's coming out. I can tell you for sure it's coming out.
What is coming out?
The interpretation of the 9 clues. I met Shiloh,
right.
however, I have not slept with him, and that was taken out of context. Cynthia was instigating, and I was no, and I believe you. I didn't. I look shocked. You look shocked. I'm glad we have confirmed he said it. He was drinking. He was having fun. He was second bottle of wine, and I already was on the end of it. I literally was there for 3 seconds. You guys were. There was nothing. It's nothing. It's nothing. It's nothing.
Okay, Evan Walters. He said the chase is over. The chase is what the search for the chest is called. The search for the jars is not over. Is not called that. That's true. You can go look for a jar all you want, except Forrest said he can't even find them anymore.
Right, he did.
So if there's some mythical map out there to where a jar is, great. But we haven't seen it. There's no evidence for that. If it comes out, hey, maybe I'll go look for it. But why would 9 Mile Hole be the home of brown? We've been over this, guys. 9 Mile Hole is a very popular fishing hole for brown trout for Forrest when he was a kid.
Mike, wait, hold on for a second.
Go ahead.
4 years after, and these are the people that are the most involved. And we have done shows where we did sticky notes. There's been website. Are you really answering questions about what's water high, what's home of brown? Because I'm going to do worse than what I did on Red Button show and walked off with Pam when she was being ridiculous. I mean, come on.
But so here's the question for everybody out there, whether you're on the conspiracy theory bridge or not.
No, wait. Can I say something?
Yeah.
Someone you just put it up. You don't need a transcript. It is really cool how Forrest describes and tells some of the stories. Mm-hmm. It might be 9 Mile Hole, but when he uses descriptive words, like Shiloh, glowing, the word glowing, that one shocked me. Because it was you could just tell he was passionate. So when you look at, and I haven't even seen the video, I've just seen the transcripts. So when you look at that and you go
transcript, all right.
Well, there's
Notes.
Just like Jack was asked, have you told anybody? And he said, my boyfriend, my brother, and my parents, and that's it. Those are cool little tidbits that we would want to know as searchers. Doesn't matter that it was glowing to Forrest or not. No, it just proves a point. If Shiloh has seen that video, I'll give you 10 key words that are very, very interesting, eclectic words to flat out prove what you are saying as the only possibilities may not be the case.
Well, I think we need the transcript of the video. Anyway, if that video, here, let me say this, I guess, in closing, because we can argue it all day. Let's come back from the bridges. Let's come back to shore, everybody. If that video ever comes out, if that video is ever shown in a public way, wherever, whoever, whenever.
Has enough money. Yeah. However, if they get enough money. Yeah.
And Forrest is saying, these are the 9 clues to 9 Mile Hole. And he circles 9 Mile Hole on a map and signs it. Would you believe it then?
No, okay.
People in the chat wouldn't, I don't think.
You know what? And Troy said this on one of his shows. This was maybe 6 months ago, a year ago. He said no, because it's obvious that Forrest has already lied about not. No, it was just that he just did that to cover for his family. So I know. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. But here's the reality: if 9 Mile Hole isn't it, you're never going to know where the real location was. It's never going to come out because Forrest planned it that way. If Forrest had Jack find it and retrieve it in the location that wasn't the real one, then it's over. Then Forrest died with Forrest. There's no plan. I think maybe that's why Dale doesn't talk about it, and Dale's pissed off.
But hold on.
It's over.
No, but Shiloh said, I am rolling out the plan that my grandfather told me to. He told me to wait at least 4 years.
Did he actually say that? Did Shiloh actually say that?
I think so. I don't know because we get it.
Or do we throw it out? I don't know. It's secondhand information.
If we go by only direct information, the only thing we have from Shiloh is the day after when they did that concerted effort of recognizing Jack, and we have Shiloh in our chat room. Anything else Shiloh said, and me and Shannon and Cynthia met Shiloh. Other than that, we have to throw out everything. All this, there are a lot of people, and I'm not one of them, that do not believe that Ben and Shiloh interact or have the text.
They think it's fake.
They think because it's Ben. I mean, he's earned that reputation. And I don't believe that. I actually believe that is Shiloh because I've asked stuff, and I do believe that. But I understand going to your threshold Wouldn't you throw out anything that comes from a searcher that has been known to maybe not be as honest as some? Wouldn't you throw it out that anything that Shiloh says through certain searchers? And we're going to say Cynthia as well. Both of them have been caught lying. So we're going to throw anything out that they say. Right?
Yeah, that's the problem. And that's the problem. If there is a video, it needs to be shown because it would put it to bed for most of the logical, reasonable community. Most, not everybody, but most. Because if you think that Forrest lied about this plan, this whole staged ending, there's just too much he had to lie about. And if that's the case, then I'd never feel the need to ever talk about it again because it's a horrible ending. And that means Forrest Fenn was a horrible person. And I don't believe that's true.
But so we do know that he lied.
He lied about certain things. That's true. Well, I mean, lied or misremembered. The never contacted thing. Why do you think he said that? Why do you think he lied about that? Why not just say, oh, Jack found it. And yeah, he's the guy who's been searching there forever. And he finally found it with a metal detector and blah, blah, blah.
This will not be popular, but I'll tell you.
Right.
Forrest was going to use his resources to ensure Jack's name would never come out. And I don't think he ever thought that would come out. And I think he thought saying that, man, I hadn't communicated with him that long would rule out so many different people that said, well, I told Forrest, da-da-da. The day he died, his family took that money, locked it down and said, Jack, you're going to have to spend money on your own if you don't want your name out. Forrest may have wanted it, but he is now no longer with us. So you're on your own. And Jack decided, I'll just let it all come out then.
Kpro, would you lie to save your children's inheritance?
Me personally, no.
There you go.
But could someone? But me personally, no. I mean, part of me says Forrest understood that he kind of made his bed with this whole disaster and he was defending and using his own money and resources. And that's his legal right to do so. And it's the family's legal right. If he did not update his will to say, please defend the searcher or the solver and keep doing what I really want, which is don't let Jack's name come out. They have a right to not spend the trust money to do that. So
he didn't have to lie. You just don't understand. And that's the problem. That I can't understand the end of the thrill of the chase makes it a horrible ending that Forrest did not think of everything, or Forrest just didn't care what I thought and what everybody else thought who invested time into this. And maybe that's the problem. Forrest said, I'm going to leave it up to the finder. He wants to be anonymous. Go home, everybody. It's over. It's done. Period.
Well, Mama Q is saying it's disturbing to call Forrest a liar because he's no longer with us. I do believe, now this is very different than some. I don't think Forrest is a god. It's okay to say someone lied. Here's breaking news. Cynthia's lied. I'm still friends with her. Mike lies. I still am married to him. Everyone in America, in the world, has lied. That doesn't mean it's. I hope it doesn't.
About the thrill of the chase specifically. Right. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, no, we've had situations through the years where Forrest has said certain things and then other things. That doesn't make him an evil human. This is just, and I think some of it was he just wasn't used to that level of scrutiny. I don't think it's just. I hope it is not emotionally disturbing people. This is okay. We're adults to be able to discuss. There was some issues. There was some boo-boos. There was some. Does that make him evil? No. So I don't think anybody should be
some boo-boos. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, it's disturbing that 6 people died or 10 people died in the chase. I don't think it's Forrest's fault, but it's okay to discuss it because I mean, somebody was talking today. You have a treasure hunt in Vegas where there's a heat warning. Are you worried about searchers dying? You know what? It needs to be, I guess, a discussion because I hadn't, and Forrest never thought people would die, but it's okay.
Well, that's the whole teach them to swim, don't drain the pool thing. Billy Shaw says, why show the video to a searcher then? That's a good question. Why was the video shown to a searcher? I'm not going to guess. I'm not going to answer for somebody. So I don't know the answer to that. Other than it sounds like somebody wants the truth out. And if the truth is 9 Mile Hole and that video proves it, maybe they're trying to put it to bed. Maybe they think the community deserves to know what the ending was.
Well, even more to that, I think this is just my personal opinion. I haven't had a million interactions with Carl, but I've had enough that I think Carl genuinely wants to protect the family. And I think Carl really understands Forrest. even though Forrest didn't like attorneys. I think in general, that's the case. And I think my personal opinion is Carl tried to put as much in that court case to eliminate as much skepticism to ensure that people got closure enough to protect the family. We still have people saying they're going to go after different family and all of that. And maybe they're being harassed, and maybe it's all secondhand because I'm not watching anything anymore. But I think Forrest knew, or I think Carl knew and wants to act on the best behalf of the family. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I think so. Accusing someone of perjury is a different level of calling someone out. We clearly have different moral compasses. So if Forrest perjured himself, I mean, he lied. I don't understand the difference. Now, you could say he lied for a good reason, he's justified to protect his family, maybe. Okay. In Forrest's mind, maybe he was justified. In Forrest's mind, he could have said, you know what, Jack's somebody I never communicated with. He found it where I left it. End of story. Go home, everybody. But then Forrest underestimated the search community, didn't he? We're not going to go home. We're not going to let it go. Obviously, because we're 4 years later, we're still talking about it.
Yeah.
So,
and Forrest is sitting with Jack in a
conference
courtroom. And Zoe, I don't think Zoe lied about Jack being the finder, and I don't think Shiloh lied about Jack being the finder. That's personally. Right. I don't know.
If Forrest lied, I don't think he would expect his family to lie. Yeah, I mean, we all have our own opinions. It's just, I personally cannot believe that Forrest orchestrated the ending or moved the chest, or that there's a second chest and he didn't tell us about it, that somehow there's a second chest and, a year from now, Shiloh's going to release that and there's a new map and a new poem and surprise, we lied to you for the last 5 years, but it's okay because the real chest is still out there. That's still a lie. That's still a horrible ending.
Well, and I think, so now that you've gone through your exercise, is it possible that one day Shiloh is going to come out and say, it wasn't 9 Mile Hole, that video, if it was shown and all the evidence that we've put out that Jack was the finder and 9 Mile Hole, it's just not the case? Is it possible? Certainly. Do I think it is such a low chance that it's not even in the realm of possibility? Yes. It's just not probable to me. So, but maybe but there's been some things that are so confusing about Shiloh's actions, like selecting people to be the spokespeople that are against 9 Mile Hole, that do believe in second treasures, that this is more of the Victoria Peak, other codex, all of that. So his selection of PR alone, I think, and some of the actions that he has done, like he put out those particular edits and he chopped them up. Remember the one edit said, Forrest said something like, I can put the treasure back in its location, or Shiloh said that, and Forrest said no one would find it there.
Oh, and they laugh about it. Yeah.
And they laugh about it. Maybe it's Shiloh just being kind of immature and not realizing, or maybe there's a bigger conspiracy. Maybe there's a reason for it.
Now we got to talk about that since you brought it up. When was that audio made? How soon?
The night of the find. Saturday.
The night of the find.
Yes.
Saturday, the night of the find, when Jack showed after the conference room, or Jack is on his way to Santa Fe?
Jack is on his way to Santa Fe. That's June 6th.
So Shiloh says we could hide another treasure there and nobody would find it. And Forrest says, right, or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. What people don't say, two things. What people don't say is at the end of that little audio clip, when Forrest is reading his emails and he goes, somebody says, is it really over? And Forrest says, yes, my friend, it's over. It's over. That's what Forrest said. It's over. Here's the other thing. At that time, when Jack is coming down to Santa Fe, Jack does not want the solution out. Jack is going to be anonymous and nobody's going to know where it was. So yeah, at that time, Forrest can say nobody would ever find it because Jack's not going to say where it was. I'm not going to say where it was. And Shiloh, if he knew the solution, you're not going to say where it was because we're going to respect Jack's wishes. So at that time, before the ping data, before Shannon's email, before Condor on Reddit, before the court case, before the log, before the stick, before the nook, before all that happened, sure, Forrest could say they would never find it if we hid something else there because it's never going to come out, but it did come out. So that's my explanation for that.
Well, and mine is we have clip 1, 3, and 4. We don't have clip 2, so I don't know the context enough. But I think it seemed pretty intentional. I mean, he knew he was sending them files 1, 3, and 4. My my perspective is Shiloh is just messing with people. He's having fun, just leaving everyone hanging, and let's give him 1, 3, and 4. Maybe it'll give him something to talk about for a while. And then he wouldn't answer. Why not 2? You know, maybe he sold it to Netflix, maybe, but he's purposely doing that.
Maybe the audio's in Netflix. That would be cool.
Yeah, but I don't think they could pay enough.
Because we don't have the context. You got to throw it out. That's what I think.
Throw it out.
So El Perro says, come on, Mike. No one would find it 300 yards from the road. That's pretty thick foliage in woods back there across the Madison River. So, right. Yeah. Nobody would find a 10-inch by 10-inch box that's buried up to its lid where the blaze is fallen down or broken. Yeah. Nobody would find it. That is correct, sir.
But
nobody would find it without metal detecting it.
Mike, I thought you were going to be taking the side of not 9 Mile Hole a lot more.
I tried, but I had to throw it out. I'm sorry, everybody. I had to throw it out.
Well, what takes you specifically to 9 Mile Hole? I'm with you on Yellowstone. There's no question.
Okay.
In my opinion, there's no question Yellowstone, because that's why Sarah Davis was met with. The Supra is for Yellowstone only, that Supra Act. My question is, what does take you specifically to 9 Mile Hole when you threw all of it out? Everything.
The log that they
no,
found.
You threw that out.
But for me personally, I'm talking about the community. For me personally, the log, the stick, the down tree, which Jack says the blaze was destroyed. If you add all those things up, it points, maybe not beyond a reasonable doubt, but it points to that 9 Mile Hole nook as being the place.
Queen Anne, after reading the 9 Clues transcript, what was your opinion? The transcript, I will say, makes it undeniable to me personally. And not only that video, but the 2+ hours that Jack and Forrest were sitting at NASCO's office. And there is a third audio of Jack going into Carl's office Monday morning going, hey, you bleep, bleep, bleep. You don't let me into, I'm now putting up in a hotel, and what the hell are you doing? So there's actually 3. I've not seen any specific transcript to that audio. The other 2, there is enough evidence I have seen that I believe. But again, I don't think until the entire search community gets to see it, it won't matter.
Yeah, they got to let at least the video of Forrest going over the 9 clues.
No, they don't. Not if it's not their high priority. What if it's not their high? I mean,
well, I
gotta give credit to Shiloh. It's not a high priority. And hey, Mike, stop being greedy and selfish. He'll get to it. It's been 4 years. He's going to have kids probably soon. He's going to have a wedding. He's going to have kids. He's going to have vacations. I mean, he took the one picture from like the Mexico. He has things. He was in a plane one day. He was, he has stuff that he's doing. So he needs a few more years or decades, or I don't know. He hasn't said. He said Ben's timeline was 6 to 9 months, and Ben, I guess, is like not cutting his hair, and it's like really like my hair is as long as his right now because of he believes so much into the 6 to 9 month window. Now he's not. He's like he has a beard and stuff. I've heard. Oh, so yeah, so 6 to 9 months. Look, some people are changing their entire appearance based on Shiloh's 6 to 9 month window, and they won't change it. So this is why Shiloh's just saying, don't be greedy. Just wait.
So this is what I'm going to say. I hate to put it out this way, but this is what I think needs to happen.
Don't say it.
Somebody who is actually friends with her needs to ask Zoe why she won't release it. I think, but Shiloh needs to be bypassed. I think Zoe needs to say, and if she's never going to release
it.
Okay,
let me ask you a question. What if it's personal? The reason? Does she have a requirement?
Let's say it's personal, and then we'll let it go. Like it's never.
He's already said there's other reasons other than financial. It's very complicated for my family. Shiloh's already said that. It's very complicated.
Yeah, I guess.
Because I can tell you, I believe it's been communicated privately to some. I'm not repeating it. It is personal.
But is it personal or is it complicated legally because of the Zoom and because of the NDA? Why would 9 Mile Hole be personal to the family? It's personal to Forrest.
No, the video.
Oh, the video. Oh, it's personal.
Not 9 Mile Hole, but the video. Yeah, no, and legal, not personal.
Yeah.
Both.
You're
I
right.
mean, it's personal and it's legal. I think it's legal that, like Zoe has said to me, it died with my father. None of us know. She said that. I think she wants as much legal distance as possible.
Well, she probably hates the chase because of what it did to her family. I get that part.
Right,
she's probably never seen the video.
But Shiloh's saying the opposite. I'm the only one that knows everything. 30% of it is only known by
Fun
me.
and answers.
Fun and answers are coming. It's epic. It's huge. Just wait a couple more years or wait more time or whatever. I think that's made a very complicated family dynamic, would be my guess. I have no, I don't know. But I know Shiloh's told me at the hearing, Shiloh told me, this has been very, very hard on my mom. She doesn't want any part of this. He does.
Right.
And so he is interacting. Why did he have me and Shannon? And I mean, we were drinking Japanese beers and we were back in the lab and he made these boxes for us. He didn't spend 10 minutes with us. He must have spent over an hour with us. It was fabulous. He likes that interaction. That has to be the worst dynamic. He's writing a book. He has said he's writing a book. I mean, that has to be, since we know how Zoe believes kind of the chase was her grandfather's and she's not as enthusiastic, that has to be worst case scenario, that her son now is going to live it on and the book's going to be about her husband as well. And I mean, that's going to make a lot of, and especially if Shiloh comes out with It's 9 Mile Hole, so many searchers are going to not believe it and they may sue. We still have people threatening to sue.
What are you going to sue over? I mean, if anybody was going to sue, they would have done it by now, I would think.
No, because the family hasn't confirmed a location. Maybe if they do, you're thinking logically. Somebody might go and look for whatever they say and find it in a comic book, and then they're going to sue again. I mean, you never know.
The comment of the night from Jeremy. I've read all those books too. I don't know.
I'm going to have to go back and read chat because I missed 3/4 of it.
Maybe Shiloh threw it out. Maybe he had a plan and maybe the plan has changed and he threw it out.
Well, it was only like 3 or 4 weeks ago. Shiloh said to Cynthia said to Shiloh, is the binder what's going to be in the book? And he gave the thumbs up in your book. And he gave the thumbs up. So, and he won't give any update. I mean, Ben is going to have a 20-inch. It's going to be like ZZ Top. It sounds like until Shiloh answers. Shiloh won't even answer him, but Shiloh will confirm that he shopped the video, the solution video, to Netflix, and they didn't see the monetary value.
Right.
Boom.
So, Bill, there you go. He's saying that's the map. Sarah Davis had region over. Kpro saying the Supra pertained to Yellowstone National Park. So maybe you could look that up. And that was a justification for not giving the location. But anyway, we're beyond that. The bridge has fallen down. The conspiracy theory bridge has fallen down. Cowlazars, have you read the Stick story? It explains the location of the true solver. What Stick story? What are you talking about? I don't know where that is. All right. Oh,
no, I don't know that either. But for the next show, I think you should replace me, Candy, and you and Mike go over this said story for at least an hour.
Victoria Peak. The documentary they did on Victoria Peak was awesome. Talk about a real treasure hunt. That was there. They have the gold they pulled out of it, and then the government stole it all. But anyway, I guess it seems like we'll never know.
I think
the video's never released. Do you think the video is going to come out? Yes or no?
I don't know. If somebody pays enough, and I think after the Netflix, if somebody else finds enough monetary value in it, I think it will. Or maybe the family will. I'm hoping the family would see the ship is kind of sailing. The 15 minutes are almost over. Oh, and anybody in Santa Fe, go vote for Mika tomorrow. It's the primary. It's been a battle from what I understand.
Breaking news. Everybody.
Yeah. So I know there's probably only a few, but go vote for her. It sounds like she's running for city commissioner, county commissioner of Santa Fe.
Oh,
and
wow.
She just did Ed's, EEDS. He did a interview with her, Eads. He did an interview with her. It's up on her website. It's like Vote for Mika, FOR, voteformika.com. And she is very articulate. She didn't talk anything about Forrest, so it's not Forrest related, but politics is ugly, and it sounds like she's really had a battle.
We're not getting into politics here at all.
We're not, but I would just say for her articulation of issues, and she seems so aware. She talked about water. She talked about emergency responses in this one interview. Damned articulate. And so I don't know much more about it. I just say go vote for her.
I guess. Have we made the case for 9 Mile Hole? No. Have we made the case for not 9 Mile Hole? No, I think we have to wait for that video. And if the video doesn't come out, then we're never going to know.
Or Shiloh saying something. If Shiloh gives okay, let me ask you this. If Shiloh comes out and says, let me give you 2 scenarios. So the first one should be quick. If Shiloh comes out and says, yes, it was 9 Mile Hole, blah, 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 we don't even care what else he says. Are you going to believe it?
Say it again. I'm sorry. If Shiloh comes out and says
it was 9 Mile Hole, are you going to believe it?
Yes. Why would he lie?
Stop. If Shiloh comes out and says it was wherever why I must go, a bighorn, blah, 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 are you going to believe it?
Yeah, I probably would, because I don't see the benefit of why Shiloh would lie at this point 4 years later. So, yeah, I think I would believe whatever Shiloh.
So, in summary, you are all in for Shiloh.
I'm waiting for Shiloh. The problem is it's been 4 years. I can't wait no more. I got to move on to something else.
And we have.
Well,
kind of.
all I'll leave everybody with this. Forrest Fenn once said, "My shadow isn't cast by a fool." Does that mean he had some plan in place? I don't know. If he did, it's not a very good plan. That's the problem. 4 years later, and we're still waiting for the plan. That's the problem. For everybody that says you don't know the ending, right? That's the problem. We don't know the goddamn ending. 4 years later, that's the problem. So,
and if you don't know the ending, you got to throw it out. Hi. Throw it. It's like Elaine dancing. Throw it out.
Yeah, something like that. Anyways, there it is, everybody. What have we done today? I don't know if we've done anything today other than spend 2 hours talking about the chase. And that's what we do on Monday nights.
This is huge. Actually, we have Shiloh confirming that there is a 9 Clues video, that it was shopped in Netflix. Netflix was not able to purchase it. There was still some up in the air of whether they got it in. The Netflix window's closed. June 1st came and gone. So in my opinion,
we got confirmation on that yet or no?
From Shiloh.
No. From the Jared. If we
I have not heard back from Jared yet.
All right.
So I did send Jared Shiloh's text about Netflix not seeing.
And now Shiloh's going to get sued by Netflix. So there we go. That's going to delay us another 3 years. Great. But that is true. Shiloh did not deny that there is video audio of Forrest going over the 9 clues. Therefore, for the community, that should probably be released, shouldn't it? Huh?
He did not only not deny it, he said that said asset was shopped at Netflix.
Right.
And Netflix did not see the monetary value. Yeah. Like, I hate to say, where's the vindication button? Because people don't like when I do that. But dear Lord, Shiloh's in Netflix. Somebody used to scream and yell and look in the camera and say, Kpro's full of it. Okay. He's in Netflix. His mom's in Netflix. Carl's in Netflix. There's a video. It was shopped. It didn't get in. He's writing a book. Oh, wait. Catch up to 2022, Ben. Ask Shiloh if he's writing a book. Breaking news. You may hear soon. Sorry.
All right. But yeah, you're right. I mean, he did confirm that there is something. There is a video audio for us, which is huge. He confirmed there's this video. So where is it? I hope it. And so what if Shiloh comes out with his book or comes out with his epic fun and answers, and that audio and video is not part of it? I mean, what are we doing here, people? If that's the case,
like a lot of people
say he should come out and say it. That's not going to be part of it.
I'm going to kind of make the equivalent. When people found out that Pam came on our show and just wanted to talk about other things, no offense, people only wanted to see that email. They don't see a lot of value otherwise. If Shiloh being in Netflix, yeah, it might be interesting. People want to see the video. They don't really care a lot about. I mean, yes, Shiloh said he's going to talk about kind of his life story and his dad's life story. And if it's in the wood stuff, it's all interesting, but there's a reason why people are focused on Shiloh for the ending. I don't think he's going to provide it. And that's why some people ask me, Shiloh is hated in the community except with a few. And I think it's very unfortunate. But when he calls people greedy and selfish and all of that, he has to understand people. And if he understands people, they want certain things, which is the ending. So I think it's great he has steak dinners. Until he can talk, I don't think a lot of people care. He has some really huge advocates, a few, and there's a lot more people that are really irritated by.
I like Shiloh. I'm hoping there's a reason that he's doing the things he's doing. So here's the deal, because you brought up Pam, I'll end it with this to try and, I don't know if I'm getting through what I'm trying to say, so I'll use Pam as an example. Pam was on Brutal Truth. Pam said how horrible it is that we're talking bad about Forrest and that we said the Thrill of the Chase had a bad ending, etc. Here's the point. 4 years later, we don't have an ending. That is the bad ending. You cannot say Forrest Fenn was a mastermind. It took 15 years to write a poem, thought of everything and all this, and he didn't plan the ending. There's no way that he just said, you can't have it both ways. He's either a mastermind, and if he is that mastermind, that there's a second chest and that there's something else coming, it would have been done before 4 years later.
But Mike, you are focusing like you normally do. You're focusing just on the poem, the location, and the ending of it. Because I know she was saying, like, you guys got married because of him. How can you not appreciate the chase then? I appreciate the overall chase.
Right.
The putting it in an illegal spot, the leaving it in Puerto Rico, someone died, tax implications, Forrest passing in the middle of it is a disaster of an ending if you look at the pure treasure hunt portion. I can tell you the chase is much bigger than the treasure hunt, but I can tell you the treasure hunt, and this is again, Forrest isn't a god, you guys. It's okay to say Forrest is not perfect. This ending was a disaster. This ending was a disaster, not only because of Forrest planning the ending, but there's a lot more reasons. That judge that was allowing this outing of Jack, but then the estate not defending it because Forrest died. These are all timing and just unfortunate circumstances, but it's not ideal. Nobody would say this is ideal, this situation in general. So it's not bashing Forrest. And I know maybe sometimes discovered in our honesty, but you're going to get our honesty.
We're not bashing Forrest in any way. I'm saying the opposite. There's no way that this is the planned ending when it took 4 years. Forrest was smarter than that. Forrest would have had things in place by now.
When
it ended
said something. Vertigo is usually so neutral.
Oh, yeah. No, I put it up.
Oh, you did? Oh, I'm going to have to go back and look at it.
Okay. No, he said there are too many people acting like there's any mystery left. Forrest himself in that audio says it is over, my friend. It's over. Forrest himself said it. Listen to the audio, whoever has it, where they say we could hide something in the same spot. Nobody would find it. And then Forrest reads an email that says, is it really over? And Forrest says, it really is over, my friend. It's over. Which sucks, which we don't want to believe, but there it is. So anyway, I don't think I went over to the dark side, the crazy side, did I, Kpro? I was just
but this is stupid. This just ruffled feathers and made people that are already irritated. The people that don't believe 9 Mile Hole, they now see by the ending, you were saying, well, it is 9 Mile Hole, so they're pissed. The people that believed in 9 Mile Hole going, why the hell are you doing this? And then add in the sprinkle of we didn't bow down to a god and we talked about Forrest Fenn because he died and didn't say he's perfect in every way. They're now like emotionally upset about this. It's like, I don't know the reason for this, but I don't think it had any good ending. Why don't you just let this go? I've been trying to do that for years. You keep wanting to do shows on it.
Oh, that's me, huh? Okay. All right, everybody. Well, I don't think Netflix is going to answer any of this, but we'll see. I'm definitely going to watch it when it comes out, so we'll see.
I think it's just the beginning of things. Netflix is going to kick off a sequence of events that are going to be epic. I got to use a different word, guys. I do think that there's some really cool stuff coming, and it's not from Shiloh. So,
why do you say that? Do you think you just said there's something big coming, not from Shiloh? What does that mean? Or you can't say?
I don't really care, but I'm not emotionally tied to 9 Mile Hole. I only care about the codex. Right. And wouldn't you say, Indy, because you only care about that, and Shiloh knows that there's a reason that you were selected as one of his 2 spokespeople. His 2 spokespeople don't believe 9 Mile Hole, and they believe that there's something more big, huge, epic coming. Do you think that's a coincidence? It may be. It may be a coincidence that his 2 spokespeople are not 9 Mile Hole. Maybe. But maybe there's more to it. I'm sorry, what was your question that I'm probably not going to answer?
You said you think there's more big things coming, not from Shiloh. Why do you think that? What's that all about?
Well, I think we have the olive jar. I think we have.
Oh, that's true. We didn't even talk about the olive jar, people.
Yeah, and no matter how many cease and desist Shiloh sends to John Collins Black, maybe that's why John Collins Black decided not to open it and put that legal disaster in the. I mean, that's had more legal issues than anything. That olive jar has more legal issues than anything.
The olive jar could hold the answer. The olive jar, you don't know what Forrest put in it. It's just 2.0. Right. That's what his family thinks. You don't know what Forrest Fenn put in it. if I find JCB's treasure that has that olive jar in it, I'm going to open it up and read it live. If somebody finds it and wants
already
to
said
sell
he
it,
is going to sue.
I'm going to do that. He can't. He can't.
He's saying he will.
Yeah, I don't think he will. If
It
somebody
scared the
finds it and
hell out
wants
of
to sell
Dale,
it,
and
I'll
he's got
buy
a,
it and read it live.
I know he's not rich, but he's got a huge estate behind him to sue. It's usually not the person that oftentimes it's not the person that that wins. It's the one with the most lawyers.
So it's like this. I go to the store and I buy Stephen King's book from Barnes and Noble.
Right.
I can read it. I can talk about it. I probably can't read it word for word.
Right. That's right.
True.
That's
so
right.
I could, we would definitely talk about that, what's in the olive jar. And you're right.
No.
Word for word. We can't make money off it. Can't make money off it.
Candy's saying I don't speak for Shiloh. Of course not. No, but you have passed on messages on his behalf, just like Ben does. 2 people he has selected. It used to be Cynthia, but she probably believed in 9 Mile Hole. So she said she was voted off the island. You and Ben, I thought, have believed auction site, it was moved there, or it's not 9 Mile Hole, that sort of thing. Okay.
Well, I'm looking forward to JCB's hunt too. But whoever gets that olive jar, I'll buy it. I'm interested in buying it, and we will summarize what's in it. You're right. We can't read it word for word, but we're definitely going to talk.
No, but there is 10. What I've been told is it's 10%. 10% can be read, just like the 5 paragraphs. Supposedly, Jens was going to get sued when Cynthia read that for his documentary, those 5 paragraphs, and it's clear that is fair use. So 1 page of a 100-page document can be read and not violate copyright.
All right, that's it, everybody.
You can find the entire binder up on X, because cease and desist only go to Mike from Michigan. They do not go to searchers that are posting it on X for months on end. So also, it might be who delivers it. I don't know.
Well, it's easy to send a letter, but I don't think the family would actually follow through and sue anybody. That's all.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah. Anyway, all right, we're going to end it, guys. It's been 2 hours. It's kind of been fun to talk about it, but I don't think we really resolved anything. The people who don't think 9 Mile Hole are still going to think that. People who do think it was 9 Mile Hole are still going to think that. That video, though, needs
suck it. Do it, Mike. I don't know what that means. He's asking you to suck something.
Easy.
What is that?
Oh, that was the call you a liar, I think, because you called me a liar. We all know.
I lie all the time.
There you go. There you go, everybody.
Are you ready? Are you ready for this?
Let's do a speakeasy. That's
right.
right.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
This was so fun tonight. Thank you all for being here. See what I did right there?
You just lied? Yeah. I got
this. I told you this was going to be a train wreck, and I think it was a train wreck. But no, I don't know.
It's just discussion, but there's a lot you can throw out, as I made a point of, but there's some you can't throw out. What was in the court case, I don't think you can throw out.
I don't either. And some people say that's all what was doctored. I don't think so.
Yeah, let's do a speakeasy. We can jump in there once I figure out something for dinner. All right, everybody. That's it.
Won't you even?
That's it.
Oh, honey, I cooked dinner tonight. Didn't I tell you? Oh, that's a lie.
All right.
I feel like I bought a ticket to a train wreck.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Bye.